And what a beautiful morning here in Boston, USA for the fourth and final stop in 2025 for the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. Welcome in, everyone, to the Seaport District located in South Boston. A beautiful day. I'm Trace Worthington alongside Rosaline Filion, who won 2 Olympic medals in diving. A little bit of breeze out here, Rosie, but the weather absolutely spectacular as we look at the ICA building, the Institute of Contemporary Art, where the divers will be launching off today.
And it's such an exciting day as we can see Jeannie Van Kevik doing a catwalk on the platform. Beautiful day here. A lot of excitement to come up because we have the King Kaikili Trophy up for grabs in the men's side, already secure for Rhiannon Iflin. We have the athletes presentation, but it's the final stop of the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series, the last one of the season. Everybody's up, smiling all together, and it's going to be an exciting one.
It is going to be exciting. This is the ever-popular athlete presentation, so as we bring you into our YouTube programming live, we're getting started soon with the women's third and final round, followed by the men, and then we're going to get right into the fourth round for both the women and the men. So the athlete presentation, you're getting a little inside peek, which usually isn't the case, which is nice for our viewers, Rosie, as Rhiannon Iflin walks out, greets the crowd, thousands on hand here in the Seaport District of Boston. She is the 9-time King Kaikili Trophy winner. She wrapped it up with enough points at the last stop in Mostar, Bosnia and Herzegovina. So congrats to Rhi on her 9th World Series title in a row.
The question is now, will she have a perfect season? She won every stop until Boston. 2 more rounds to go as we see Molly's mother here. Came all the way from out west in Canada to watch Molly's comeback, as we can say.
We're in the Brave Gang hoodie.
Yes.
But this, a beautiful day. The 16th season of the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. The 13th time the World Series has been in the USA, and the 7th time Boston has hosted the World Series. That first event took place in 2011. And a lot of buildings did not exist here, Rosie, at that time. Now it's surrounded by many apartments in this vibrant district. But the ICA, Institute of Contemporary Art building, has been around for a long time. In fact, 1936. Look at the platforms. Makes you nervous, doesn't it?
It's so scary to watch it just hang off the Institute of Contemporary Art here in Boston. It's very unique, as we've seen maybe another Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series event in more a nature setup. But here, it's great structure and a great spot for people to come in and watch these amazing athletes perform their 3rd and 4th round of dives.
So 12 women, 12 men, and the men led by that man right there on the World Series overall points, Gary Hunt, far to the left-hand side. Boy, he has had an amazing career with 10 King Kaikili trophies. He's leading the series coming into today. Jonathan Peretta is standing next to him.
With the Red Sox shirt.
Yeah, the Red Sox. Rosie and I both went to the Red Sox game.
Yes.
I went a couple nights ago. You went yesterday?
2 days.
2 days ago. I went 3 days ago. In fact, I went with Dave Colturi, who you see with the black beanie hat on. We had a great time checking out the Red Sox game. Konstantin Popovich is in the mix for the King Kaikili Trophy. He's won it before. In fact, 2023 is when he won it. Catlin Peretta leading, coming into this 4th and final round for the men, or third round for the men, excuse me.
Yeah, with a beautiful high degree of difficulty dive in the 2nd round.
Or no, James Lichtenstein is actually leading into the 3rd round. So
it's very close in points.
Yeah, it's very close in points. And this is why James is introduced last. So there's your only male American permanent diver. All right, James. That's the quickest I've seen him move outside of diving right there.
Yeah, usually he's very, calm and collected and very focused all the time.
Big crowd on hand here in the Seaport District of Boston, wrapping up the national anthem. Fourth and final stop of the season. The first time that the final stop has taken place in the United States of America, and the King Kahkili trophies will be awarded today to the top female and male of the 2025 season. Rhiannon Iflen will watch her hoist it up as she has enough points already to lock in the trophy. But for the men, it is fair, not wide open, but it is tight now between Konstantin Popovich, Rosie, and Gary Hunt. It's going to be intense. It's going to be fun.
That's what it's all about. You never know who's going to win. They're pulling out some hard dives. They need quality near perfection dives, and all the way at the end of the competition. So that puts a lot of pressure on their shoulders.
Talk about pressure.
Yeah.
You were telling me how nervous you were when you first saw this landing zone right there. You see the safety divers in red. Look at the docks.
It's so close to in the platform. I came to watch for my own little vacation pleasure to watch a competition, and I saw the two decks, and I was like, how do they not get scared to land on the docks? But actually, I was talking with Molly Carlson earlier, and I asked her about it, and she's like, no. It's safe. It helps for a visual. We know exactly where we land, and we know where the water is.
This is what it comes down to right here. In the World Series standings, a 7-point difference between Gary Hunt and Konstantin Popovich. Paredes with 37 points. All three have won the King Kahkili Trophy in the past, and only 6 men in the history of the World Series have even hoisted that above their heads. So the King Kahkili Trophy on the line today for the men, and of course the permanent diver spot, so important. After today, Rosie, the top 4 in the World Series points for both the men and the women, they'll automatically go. Then the remaining 4 will be decided upon a variety of things, not only their World Series results, but World Aquatics, High Dive World Championships, and High Dive World Cups, many other variables. So it's important for every diver today to try to earn a permanent spot for next season so they don't have to qualify or requalify.
Exactly. That's why you see some of the wild cards in different competition. There's a few here as well, 11 wild cards, and it's their opportunity to get to that permanent spot. Every dive counts. Every competition is so important. It's not just about the podium. It's about making it so you have a chance to compete in every
no doubt about it. I mean, the women warming up at the top. Xanthia Panizzi as well. She podiumed at the last stop, and here's how it looks for the women. Rhiannon Iflen, 62 points. Sealed and delivered the King Kahkili Trophy, number 9, because of that. Now, Kaylee Arnett sitting second in the points. The wild card diver from last season earning a permanent diver spot this season. So it's going to be tight. Simone Leithed sitting in third in the overall World Series points. So for the women, even though you have Rosie Rhiannon Iflin wrapping it up, those permanent diver spots super important right now, and the place in the top 3 for bragging rights.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything's very important for these divers. I was watching Molly Carlson earlier. I said it's kind of a comeback for her. Remember in Poliano Amara in June, she slipped off the platform, got a bit of an injury, not too serious, decided to pass on Mossar for health issues, and now she's back. She did some competition in the World Aquatics department, but she wanted to come here in Boston and be like, here I am. I worked really hard for this competition. I'm not done yet. I want to get back and prove to everyone that I belong here.
We're about 2.5 minutes away from the third round of the women. The first competitor to go will be Maria Paula Quintero. But first, if you're new to Red Bull cliff diving, check it out. Here's how it all works.
Each Red Bull cliff diving event features 8 permanent and 4 wildcard divers per gender. There are 4 rounds of diving, with varying levels of difficulty. The panel of 5 judges has less than 3 seconds to evaluate the parts of each dive. The judges then award scores from 0 to 10. The highest and lowest scores are eliminated, and the remaining 3 added together. This total, multiplied by the degree of difficulty, gives the dive score. And all 4 dives are added together for the event score. Finally, series points are awarded at every event, with a bonus point for the best dive of the competition. At the end of the series, the divers with the highest series points are awarded the King Kahikili Trophy.
King Kahikili trophies, many of them, and most belong to Rhiannon Iflin, now 9, Gary Hunt, 10. No man has ever won more than one King Kahikili trophy other than Gary Hunt. Will that change today with Konstantin Popovich coming up closely on his heels? But Gary doing a great job after 2 rounds of diving to hang in there. As we look at the women's start list, round number 3 about to get underway. Round 1 and 2 took place yesterday. Maria Paula Quintero will kick it off. It's the lowest scores after the second round that will run first. So the top seed, highest scoring diver will dive last. Maya Kelly, it's going to be fun to watch her. She dives number 2. She's only 18 years old in her first appearance on the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. Simone Leithed has some work to do. Diving number 4, you know her well. You can talk about her when she pops up, Rosie, but she's got to chip away if she wants to get that in that second place over Kaylee Arnett.
Yeah, she had a great start of the competition. Actually, her first dive was a little wobbly. The second one was better, but as you said, everything counts here, so it will move again with round 3 and 4.
Yeah, and Kaylee now, sitting in second, and she dives 7. Usually she's higher on that list, closer to Rhiannon and Molly Carlson. So she also has to get some high scores here in the 3rd and 4th round. So here's what it looks like. 12 women will take their 3rd round dive. 12 men will take their 3rd round dive. Then it's on to the very final round. All 4 rounds count for both the women and the men. So every single dive is added together. As we kick it off with Maria Paula Quintero from Colombia, looking at the platforms on the ICM building, the Institute of Contemporary Art. The men's platform stands 27 meters, 90 feet above the water. The women's 21, 70 feet. Now, standing up there by the platforms is Orlando Duque, the legend, Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series sports director, a guy who has dove from pretty much anything and everything around the world, even icebergs, sailboats, light posts.
Helicopter? Yeah. Did he do that?
Yeah,
some of the athletes did.
Yeah.
Anything that's high enough to jump off.
Once again, I'm Trace Worthington alongside Olympic medalist in diving, Rosaline Filion. Welcome in YouTube Live, 3rd round of the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series at the final stop of the season. Go ahead and weigh in on in the chat room of our Red Bull Cliff Diving YouTube channel. Our team at Red Bull Cliff Diving will do their best to answer any questions, along with Rosie and myself along the way. A lot of Brave Gang fans and Molly fans already chatting and weighing in, but right now it is about Maria Paula Quintero. Needs a big score here in this third round. The 25-year-old Colombian trying to get it done. Testing the waters, Rosie, is Maria Paula Quintero.
So difficult to break the ice in a competition like that. Round 3, there are intermediate dives. You will see a higher degree of difficulty in the last round for the women. She did a reverse 2 somersaults in the tuck position, taking a lot of time on the platform to focus and then just have a feeling of the crowd. There's a lot of people right here watching. Beautiful jump in the tuck position. She kicked out with confidence but hesitated at the end. That's what created the splash, but let's appreciate that angle. Beautiful tuck position. Look at that confidence in the kick. Straight line, beautiful, but right here, not too sure what to do. Do I wait and lift my upper body at the last minute? And that movement created the splash.
So there are 5 judges, and it's a score between 1 and 10. The high and the low are tossed. So you look at that on the lower left. The faded are the ones she'll toss. She'll keep 2 7s and a 6.5. They multiply that by the degree of difficulty, come up with a 59.45. You see that in yellow? Then you add all 3 rounds together so far, she gets a 164.85. So Maria Paula Quintero kicking things off. And as you said, Rosie, breaking the ice. The water is cold. Not quite ice yet, but 17 degrees Celsius, maybe 63 degrees Fahrenheit. Beautiful day, though, for the divers and the spectators here in Boston Seaport District.
Same temperature as air temperature. It's about 17 degrees Celsius outside.
If you talk to the diver, I mean, do you like the colder water or do you like the warm water?
It depends. Cold water is good for rip entries, which means no splash. When the water is soft and hot, then it creates more bubbles and you see a little bit more of the white water coming out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, actually. That's
cold water hurts.
And they're the safety divers. They have to be in the water the entire time.
Which is so impressive, but safety first. They need to be around to splash the water so the athletes know where the surface is, and if there's a problem, they'll jump right in to help the athletes.
Here's Maya Kelly, 18 years old from Minnesota. First appearance.
Good.
There you go. There's the future of the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series, taught by one of the veterans, Steve Lobu, on the sidelines.
She's going to be so pleased with that dive. We saw her at the World Aquatics World Championships in Singapore in July. She won a bronze medal there. And here, first experience with the Red Bull World Series. Look at that confidence. Great entry, barely no splash. She did a forward triple half. Beautiful pike position. Grabbing right under the knees. And then look in that water, that barony. So it's a front flip, half a twist. It's the best way to come out of a dive, to know exactly where the water is and have time to position yourself.
Steve Lobu, World Series diver from the past, coaches a lot of athletes, especially from the U.S. 74.80, that's what she got on that dive. So you add that along with the other 2 rounds, 188.70. The 18-year-old American from Lake Elmo, Minnesota. Got inspired by Ellie Smart to become a diver. Ellie noticed some talent in her. Ellie, you were absolutely correct. Simone Leadhead getting warmed up. Women's platform, 21 meters, 70 feet off the Boston Harbour in the Seaport District, as we look at Elisa Cassetti, currently number 8 in the World Series point standings. those required rounds, and now we're getting into the harder, more difficult dives, Rosie.
Yeah, and saving the big ones for last. Elisa will be doing a back 2 somersaults, 2 twists in the pike position.
All right.
Beautiful.
Nice job carving up the water, Elisa Cassetti. 24 years old. The first and only Italian female diver to compete on the World Series.
And it was amazing for her to be in Poliano Amare in the south of Italy earlier this season, to feel the love from the Italians, but from us as well. Look at that beautiful dive. She stayed grounded at the end a little bit, but you know, we get to watch the replay. The judges don't have access to that. So we're able to really dissect every part of the dive. The legs stay together in the twist, which is really hard. You have to work your inner thighs, and she did it beautifully.
Remember, feel free to weigh in with any questions, comments in the chat room as you watch this third round. She comes in with a good score, 74.80, and pulls her into the lead, Rosie, with a 194.60. So trying to just kind of put on some steam, put on some heat coming into the 4th round, which is the most important round for all the divers. New permanent diver on the scene, making her way onto the women's platform. The walk and journey itself up through the ICA building, just walking up the stairs. I did it a couple days ago. And then you have to go down those stairs to the women's platform, and you got to walk out there in front of the huge crowd, looking down in between 2 docks. It's not easy for these divers as Simone Leadhead gets ready to launch.
Yeah, that's why they come in early, watch the setup, do a little bit of visualization to make sure that on competition day they're not impressed or, you know, overwhelmed by everything that's happening. Simone here for 3rd round of dive will be doing it forward, 3 somersaults, half a twist. Did not get bothered by a kid screaming.
That was a big scream. One of the spectators. This isn't golf, folks. This is cliff diving. And you don't have to be quiet if you don't want to. There's no signs going up.
Oh, the athletes know what to do when something like that happens, is to stay focused. And you know what? I think she didn't hear it. Simone was so focused and didn't give up that focus point during the dive.
Great job. Great. If anyone heard the scream, you and I did.
Yeah.
We really heard it. But
yeah, well, that didn't bother Simone at all. What a perfect dive. Look at that takeoff. Beautiful pike position, so squeezed in and opening with confidence. Look at that Barony, arms on the side, knows what to do, didn't move at all at the end. That's the Simone we know.
Simone Leadhead, currently 3rd overall in the World Series points, dropped 1 place to Kelly Arnett after the last stop. Not her best result there in Mostar, Bosnia and Herzegovina, but here putting down that dive, 2:12.15. That'll be a good score going into the 4th and final round.
Yeah, that was a 3.4 degree of difficulty, so it's there's a few athletes who has the same DD, but high like that, it will help.
And then we're going to see some crazy shifts of difficulty going into the 4th round. So you have Leadhead, Cassetti, Kelly, who you looked at right there, all vying for the King Ka Keeley Trophy at some point in their lives this year. That belongs to Rhiannon Ifland. On the men's side, still unknown who will win that. All right, Xanthia Panizzi, 26-year-old Aussie.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
Nice.
Oh, and that pressure from Simone. They were doing the exact same dive, and she didn't panic at all. She said, look at me. I could do that too.
Their standard Molly Carlson style. She dives number 11, but she doesn't miss a beat. She loves watching all of the divers. Everybody's some great camaraderie amongst the divers on the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series.
I was going to say, they're all good friends here. They all cheer for each other, help each other out. They have a WhatsApp group showing off what they're doing in training, getting some tips here and there, which is so beautiful to see.
Yeah.
And look at that dive. Beautiful takeoff, almost a full flip above the 20-meter platform. And then arms on the side, legs tight, everything tight to get in the water. And look at that entry. Wow.
The safety divers, they swim quickly over to the diver, not because they think there's something wrong. They'll do it no matter what.
Exactly.
Just to go, they dive underwater. Make sure.
It's late in Australia.
Late in Australia. 2:18.50. So Panizzi now taking over the top spot. And if you just joined us, Trace Worthington alongside Rosaline Filion, Olympic medalist in diving. Beautiful day in Boston.
And you were saying...
Fourth and final round. Third and fourth final round.
You were saying the rescue divers were jumping in right away. But the thing is, they do it at every dive. Sometimes when you land perfectly in the water, that's where it hurts the most. So it doesn't matter how you land. Sometimes just a little hit under the feet, under the chin.
Yeah, and we can talk about that when Catlin Preda comes up.
Yeah.
That's what happened to him. All right, Nelly Shukanivska, 18 years old. She's the youngest diver today. Another 18-year-old Maya Kelly, but Nelly just a teeny bit younger. Ukraine.
Good.
That was unique. That was a cool looking dive. Or maybe it was just a different angle from our camera folks, but that was cool.
I just love how she stands on the platform, so confident, her really shoulders back, a little bit like a gymnast. But then the technique, she starts with her arms down and pushing to get that rotation. The Barony with the arms along the legs, trampolina style. But I love what she does in the air as well. You know, you see some athletes with like tight bodies, you see every muscle work, but then she feels she's smooth in the air and giving the direction with her hands.
Nelly now 6th to go of the 12 women in this third round. 4 rounds today. Total, not 4 rounds today, but 4 rounds total. 2 took place yesterday, round 3 and 4. We're in the middle of round 3 for the women. So 69 on that, 206. So Shukanivska moving to third. A lot more divers yet to drop in, including Kaylee Arnett. So it's number 2 in the World Series points right now, behind Rhiannon Ifland. She's got a lot of fans here in her 9th ever World Series start. Already got 5 podiums in those starts. Always super chill.
That's her vibe.
32-year-old Texas-born, now living in Las Vegas. What were you like when you came out onto the platform? You did 10 meters synchro.
Yeah.
Did you and your partner ever kind of groove it up a little bit, or was it just more Olympic diving, a little more serious?
Oh, we were talking all the way through until we heard the whistle. We would just, not talking about diving at all, just like chit chat, like best friends.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it was our way to calm herself down. And I get how Kaylee is on the platform and just like dancing, how she listens to music before she goes and just putting herself in a great vibe. Sometimes when you're overwhelmed with technique stuff, the things that you have to do in the air, that's what you get overwhelmed, that you want it too much. You've done the work at training. Muscle memory will save you in pressure moments like these. So she's just chilling, going on the platform, refocusing, and then going in for the dive. There you go.
Nice. Steve LeBeau. His coach is down at the brand new facility, almost 3 years old in terms of the facility, not Steve. Kaylee's stoked, but there's a great facility down in Fort Lauderdale now that Steve LeBeau runs, is my point.
Absolutely.
And these guys all go down there, the Americans, but other divers from around the globe go train with Steve as well.
Look at that dive. It was just phenomenal. right from the start. I absolutely love her pike position. So squeezed in. Forehead, up on those shins. And then beautiful barony out, solid in the water. I mean, the level and the field today is so strong.
Are the judges, Sanka Piper in the mix, Valerio Palazzo, Ginger Huber in the middle, former World Series diver, Antonio Martinez, Simone Latimer. What do they give Arnett? Should put her into the lead after that for sure. It does with an 83.30 in yellow. That's her score on that dive in yellow, but then you add that again with the first 2 rounds, she gets a 225.65. So that's what she will be carrying into the 4th round. The question is where that will place her in terms of positioning, because it will be the lowest score after 3 rounds all the way up to the highest score will dive last, which is a good position to be in, pole position in this case. A lot of people asking about the drop time. Zone women's platform 21 meters, 70 feet off the harbor, and a little bit of tide action. We'll talk about that in a second, but that tide moves a little bit, high tide, and then low tide starts to come in as Maylee Carpenter from the United States gets ready to drop. High tide just hit not too long ago, the last half hour.
Oh, love that angle.
Turi on the right, we'll see him in a bit.
Big USA delegation here, a lot of athletes.
A lot of athletes in our 4th round too when we go live again on Red Bull Cliff Diving's YouTube channel along with Red Bull TV. We're going to talk about the USA progression and how they're performing.
For Maylee Carpenter, that was a beautiful dive, an inward double half. I love the way she does the barony a little bit differently. On the takeoff here, she touches the leg a little bit, then it opens right away and then brings her arm up in the air near her ears, which is very unique to her. And then she can control the entry as well.
Grew up in Boulder, Colorado, 69.75 on that dive. That's her 3rd round dive. Moves into 2nd when you add all 3 together. So 218.95. She'll have 1 more dive to go. Maylee is 8 to go of 12 women in this 3rd round of diving. If you just joined us, welcome in. Stop number 4, the final stop of the 2025 Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. Trace Worthington alongside Rosaline Filion, and loving the comments coming in. A lot of people talking about the judging. I'm going to stay out of that conversation. They're pacing themselves, I think. Yes. As I just said, I'd stay out of the conversation. There I go, jumping into it.
Yeah, but it's a tough job. I mean, they're sitting at a certain place. They have access to angles that we don't have access. They see things that they've been following these divers for a very long time. So maybe they have hopes for certain things, certain techniques. So it's always difficult to be in a judge's chair. I love to be in my chair right now.
Yeah,
and not to be in there.
I chose the commentary chair. I've been asked to be a judge for several things, but I'm going to stay here.
Yeah.
Just like traditional diving, heating up after. Air temperature's kind of chilly today. It's not.
17, is it? Yeah, it is. 17 degrees Celsius. Need a hot tub to keep the muscles warm.
Jeannie Van Katwijk sitting 9th in the World Series point standings. Needs a big score here. Trying to get that permanent diver spot back for next season, which she earned for this season. You don't want to lose that permanent spot.
Oh,
coming a little short on that is Jeannie Van Katwijk of the Netherlands. And only her 13th career appearance on the World Series. So that won't help her going into the 4th round, Rosie.
Exactly, and I wonder if it's the takeoff. You see the toes coming off the platform a little bit. Maybe that bothered her in the air. And right here, everything went a bit fast. If we can have, yes, side angle. So she's jumping downwards a little bit too much and opening very early. Now she has to work really hard to finish a full rotation and be able to bring her chest up And now she stays rounded at the end, so it feels short and it looks short.
Good look at the King Kahili trophies there, presented today. One to Rhiannon Iflem. The other is undetermined on the men's side. So 2:10.50. Jeannie Van Katwijk. If you're wondering what the chamois is for, I'm going to have Rosie talk about that. But that's what she threw down into the water after she was on the platform. So she has it on the platform, throws down that, maybe a pair of sandals as well.
Exactly.
You can explain that for the new viewers.
Yes, the chamois is very important. I love mine. I always wanted to have mine on my hands. It's actually to dry off.
Okay.
From the previous round, you're always a little bit wet. You want to dry off before.
Well, you're sweating going up the stairs too.
Absolutely. So you want to make sure you're a little bit dry, and then you throw it down just because you'll
go retrieve it and
drive yourself off again. And especially when you're doing tuck positions, you want to dry off your legs because it can be slippery with the water as well. So
this is Lisa Faulkner. So impressive.
First season on the circuit as a wild card.
Just came on blazing. Turning third place in Italy. Turning some heads. Was it just a fluke? Not at all. She's been diving great since. Oh. 37-year-old Lisa Faulkner of the United States putting one into the Boston Harbor.
And it's amazing because she's been really good in her first season. She was ready to come down at the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. And now finishing the season, home soil, diving so well.
Such an awesome performance. She got involved in diving shows versus competition as Steve Lobu doing a little video analysis. She got the itch to compete in cliff diving after that. Now here she is on the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series circuit.
And the dive she does look so easy. That's mean it's really well done. Very strong takeoff, going 100%, solid in the pike position, opening and evaluating where the water is. No adjustments needed, just going in the water, trusting that she did the takeoff right. 5
judges score between 1 and 10. The high and the lower toss, you'll see that in the gray, faded out. She'll keep 2/8 to 7.5, multiplied by that 3.4 degree of difficulty. So when you add 3 rounds together so far, 2:41.30 for the American, pulling into the top spot, and will be in the top 3 leading into the 4th and final round. A great position to be in for Lisa Faulkner, the wild card diver. 2 to go in women's round 3. Molly Carlson, big smile on her face, making her return after that slip up off of the platform. People ask all the time, do people slip off the end of the platform? The best in the business do. Well, so the answer is yes.
Yes, and actually, the way she fell off the platform is that she was doing an approach dive, so a run-up. And then the way she calculated her run-up was too short, so she actually jumped off the platform.
Off a little too.
Yeah.
Coach Steph, Aiden Heslop.
Good.
Carlson. There's Aiden, tucked away in the back. Aiden Heslop, the last year's men's champion.
Look at that.
Joined us in the booth yesterday. We made him very nervous, asking him questions about his girlfriend, Molly. He got through it nicely.
Yeah, he was so proud. With reasons. Look at that dive. No hesitation. Beautiful form in the air.
Boom.
Excellent entry. Doing a 4-3 somersaults, half twist, pike position. So strong. Molly has tape around her knees. She used to have injuries at her knees, but she's doing really well now. No injuries, but she's taping herself just in case. because that impact on the water is pretty hard. So if everything's stuck together and really well secured, then she feels good.
Okay, never mind.
Bunch of 8s in there. Simone Latimer, the judge gave her the high of that 8.5, but that'll be tossed. 3.4 DD. 246.70 for Carlson. Only 5 points ahead of Lisa Faulkner, so super tight between 1 and 2. One diver remaining in Rhiannon Iflin. This is going to be a really important competition for Molly. That's what she's told both you and I, Rosie.
Yeah.
To win this final competition. She knows Rhee's wrapped it up, but Rhee coming into another perfect season and sweeping the season potentially with a win here, already with the trophy. So Molly wants to kind of shut down that sweep, see if she can do it. It's not easy against Rhiannon Iflin. Rhee, 34 years old, now the 9-time Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series champion. So chill and relaxed, nothing to lose, except for this final stop of the season. She wants to have a perfect season to cap it off with in 2025.
She will be doing the same dive as Molly, so we'll be able to compare just a little bit. Oh, look at that.
Just can't get a break if you're the other competitors with Rhiannon Iflin. You're just thinking, Rosie, right? Like you've been there before probably. You're just like,
I'm amazed.
You guys did it again.
I'm amazed by Rhiannon Iflin's consistency. It's and high consistency. You can do the dives a bit of the same way, but for 7.5s. But she does her dives for 8.5, 9s all the time. Same position, beautiful Barony. Love the position in the air. She's so pretty. Leaning forward here just to give herself the direction, not too far off the platform. Look at that pike. So beautiful. Technique here with confidence. I mean, that's a dive.
Wow. 43 wins.
One more of the season.
Rhiannon Iflin most likely lead into the 4th and final round with that 90 on that. So 259. So Rhiannon Iflin will be the top seed going into the women's 4th and final round coming up after the men.
And we can hear a little bit of the conversation within the athletes, and they were saying to each other, we have one more dive in this season.
I shorted her wins, Rosie. She has 44. So
it's very important to have that 44.
An 80% winning ratio. So to give you an idea of what the rest of the field is up against. All right, the women will warm up, get set for their 4th and final round, the most important round here, as we have Iflin leading the charge into that final round. Carlson, Faulkner, she's in a great position, along with Kaylee Arnett, who sits number 2 in the World Series standings. Maylee Carpenter, so the Americans go 3-5 right now coming into the 4th round. And Xanthia Panizzi doing a nice job pulling her result back up after the 2nd round.
Same for Simone.
Yep, same for Simone, and she will dive in the middle of the pack. So great women's 3rd round in the books as we start to shift over to the men's side.
One more, ladies, one more.
Rhiannon Iflin, 52 podiums, 54 starts, the best of the best. She's doing it again. All right, start list for men's round 3. We'll kick it off from New Zealand with New Zealand's Braden Rumpet. Gary Hunt in the middle of the field. So this is just going to be so interesting, Rosie, in this 3rd round, and see how the men position themselves going into the 4th and final round, especially Gary Hunt, who's number 1 in the World Series points. And Dave Kulturi doing a nice job mixing things up there too. But Konstantin Popovic, you know, again, Gary and Kostin not doing themselves any favors.
There's no room for mistakes at this point in the competition if they want to get back up in the rankings.
And then James Lichtenstein from the United States. No man has ever won a World Series competition on U.S. soil. James has won before, but not here in the United States. So it'll be cool to see if James can pull that off. But first, we'll start off with Braden Rumpet. Only his 4th start on the World Series. These wildcard divers, if you're wondering what the wildcard divers are, it's basically anyone who gets a chance. They get an invite to 1 or maybe 2 events, Rosie. Kind of try to pull out all the stops, maybe get a high result, get invited to another stop, and then that's when they build points. And the more stops you're at, the more points you can secure towards a permanent diver position. Sometimes it takes a year for divers, sometimes it takes 3 years. Rumpet kicking off the men's side in the 3rd round with a leap off of the men's platform of 27 meters, 90 feet off the Boston Harbour. And that's pretty accurate right now. As you look, it was a little bit like not as high when the high tide hit about a half hour ago, 45 minutes ago, Rosie, but now it's kind of leveling off, and then the tide will go down a little bit, but only by about centimeters.
Yeah, but it makes a huge difference in the way you evaluate where the water is in the air. It's been a while since the competition started, and they didn't have an opportunity to just do a warm-up dive right before the competition start. On that dive, there's just a lot of movement at the end when he opens from his tuck position. Right here, reverse triple. You see the hips moving forward, so distancing himself from the platform. And right here, when he kicks off, he stays in, then look back, has to bring the legs over to the vertical position. Sometimes it's a one movement thing. There's just too much here.
Just gaining that experience, understanding how difficult it is to be a competitor on the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. But the only way to get better is to keep the repetition flowing, get in these events, get in front of the crowd, get in front of these judges. Miguel Garcia, Colombia, coming off a career best finish at the last stop. All-Star Bosnia-Herzegovina, finishing 4th. His best result before that was a 6th place over the years. We're talking about 37 starts, you know, to get his best result, 4th place. 37 attempts to get that 4th place.
It's never too late. He will be doing an inward 3 somersaults, half twist, tuck. Good.
Right.
Love that.
Maria Paula Quintero, that's his stepdaughter. Miguel's wife, Silvana, is the mother of Maria Paula Quintero, female diver we just watched earlier. He also coaches his stepdaughter, Garcia, putting one down. Nice.
Beautiful takeoff. Love the speed. Beautiful tuck position. And imagine the drop is so long.
Yeah.
For just
one of the viewers is wondering, does it hurt? Like, when does it hurt? You were saying on a good dive.
on a good dive, it could hurt as well, because the impact comes in so fast. And here you have so much time to evaluate where the vertical is, and you can't change your mind. No doubts going in. And we know sometimes he has a ankle injury, so it hurts when he hits the water perfectly. That's why he's standing there a little bit, because, you know, breathing through the pain.
Yeah, it's like any sport, like a wide receiver in football, just those ankle pivots constantly. Like, you're not getting injured because of something like a twist or somebody hitting you. It's because it's that wear and tear. All right, the crowd's going nuts for this guy. Why?
Love
he's
that.
from the USA. So here's Scott Lazaroff. The reason I'm kind of chuckling is because I love when guys come in. They made his debut at the last stop. His second stop of his life is here in the U.S. So he's just going to take it all in. We have thousands of people here in the Seaport District. In his second ever competition on the World Series. Former gymnast and proficient trapeze artist. He's adopted. His family is here. Biggest smile on his face all the time. There's Steve Lobu. know who he was earlier when I mentioned him. Former World Series diver, now coach. Coach is Scott. Sorry if I said Steve, or Scott.
Oh, that's amazing.
28 years old.
That's a good first start right there, baby.
I love his attitude. He's so happy to be here, taking advantage of every opportunity. He wants to be the best of the best, but he's willing to go in step by step.
He might take over the new top spot as the biggest smile on the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series over Johnny Paredes. If there was a King Kakili trophy for that, Johnny owns it right now. But Lazaroff coming in hot with that big smile.
Oh, absolutely. And a beautiful dive. Just here, the transition from the twist to the pike, you see him wobbling just a little bit. The only thing missing is just little here, a better toe point, leg straight, little finest detail, but everything's there.
Lots of people in the chat room saying, yay, Scotty, go Scotty. Beam me down, Scotty. I like that one. 73. On that dive, when you add the first 2 rounds with that third round dive,
like, yeah,
a
those little
215.
splash back out. But, dude, I was really happy with that. Let's go. Let's lock down that back.
215.80. So all smiles, having fun in the third round, but back to business. Steve LeBou's like, get set for the 4th round, buddy. You got this. Let's refocus.
Yeah!
Look at that.
Says, I'll take it, Rosie.
Yeah.
You should.
He wants to get an invitation again.
Totally. All right, I love watching this guy, Andrea Barnaba, break down some technical stuff if you guys stick with us in the 4th round. And Rosie will take us through it just because there's some really fascinating styles of diving and techniques. This guy really on top of that list with his form, making his 9th ever start at the World Series, a 21-year-old Italian ready to drop.
His flexibility is very unique, and it shows in his dives. You'll see it on that one.
Great shot off the ICA Institute of Contemporary Art building. That is where the platforms are mounted to. So Barnaba dropping 27 meters, 90 feet into the water.
He was the lowest degree of difficulty, not by a lot. All the other divers were doing a 3.6. He was doing a 3.5, a forward triple half twist. Here with the beautiful pike position and really holding it even though his arms were on the side. And I think he was a bit fast. So you saw in the Barani, you'll see at the end, but let's just enjoy the pike position. Look at that. Forehead on shin and still. And right here we'll be lifting his arms up to stop the rotation a little bit. You see him going over, but he did a great job at stopping.
Barnaba working his way onto the scene, only 21 years old, doing a great job, taking advantage of his wild card positions now, full-time diver on the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. He's sitting 7 in the World Series points. We'll see if now he's on the verge of that permanent diver spot for next season. How do they choose the wild cards? Well, from world rankings, so a variety of things through the world ranks. You have the World Aquatics High Dive World Championships, World Aquatics High Diving World Cups, just a variety of different events to identify that talent, to pull in some of the divers and young divers to the World Series and give them a shot. This guy, don't have to worry about much. He's been an incredible diver over the years. Actually, he was a wild card diver coming into this season.
Yeah.
So he had to work his way back in to the scene for the first time ever. Here's Jonathan Paredes dropping into his 80th start on the World Series, the second most starts to Gary Hunt, who we're going to see dive in a minute. Paredes putting one down into the harbor. Checking all the boxes. All 4 rounds count. If you've just joined us, this is the 3rd round of the men. We've completed the 3rd round of the women. They're getting set for their 4th and final round. Jonathan Paredes is 5 to go of 12 men in this 3rd round.
We'll see a beautiful takeoff tuck position. Great visual. Eyes on the water, never leaving sight of the water, getting in that beautiful entry. And what I love about Johnny is he's not ashamed to say that when he's standing on that platform, he's afraid. And it's so important to feel fear because it gets you sharper, because you're aware of the danger, you're aware of what you're doing. If you just go in there and jumping off, that becomes more dangerous.
Yeah, he did tell us. He said, I'm a huge fan of Boston. He loves Boston.
Yeah.
He's just a big fan of diving here. He said, it's like just, but I tell you what, he's doing great.
Makes his
255.15 for Johnny. And he is number 3 in the World Series points. I mean, he looks really good for that permanent diver spot for next season. 8 permanent divers will be invited onto the series. 4 will be secured on both the men and the women's side after today's competition. Potentially all 8 secured, but we will know 4 for sure. That will be the 4 highest ranked. Now, here's Gary Hunt. This is a big moment for this man because he is in a fight for the King Kakili Trophy along with Konstantin Popovich. So it's Gary Hunt, and then it'll go David Kolturi, then Costa will dive number 8. But you just don't know what's going to happen between Gary and Costa. It's going to be important to have heavy points, good points, leading into the 4th round. If Gary just stays ahead of Costa, he's going to win his 11th King Kakili Trophy.
After round 2 yesterday, he was really upset about his dive and saying, I'm going to use that anger to come back so strong today. And he's doing a new dive. He tried this dive in Mostar a couple of weeks ago, and he's doing it again, which means he's confident enough, which is an arm stand back, 2.5 somersaults, 1 twist.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
You know, this guy has been around forever, did so many dives, and at this point in his career, he's like, I need a new challenge. I'm going to learn an handstand dive. I'm going to compete at the final of the World Series. Why not? I'm battling for the trophy.
It's unbelievable. He's like Benjamin Button. Just keeps getting younger, this dude.
Look at that handstand position, holding on long enough to show control. Beautiful position in the air, a little bit fast at the end. So he lands slightly over, but not even touching his legs in the pike position. Imagine that core work throughout the dive. Beautiful, just a bit of splash at the end.
Again, weigh in on our chat room. Some great comments. See Dustin Webster on there, one of our announcers. The Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. What's up, Dustin? And Gary Hunt will look at the 5 judges' score. He'll keep a pair of 8s and a 7.5. 84 on that dive. You add that together with the first 2 rounds. So 257.15 for Gary Hunt, only 2 points ahead of Jonathan Paredes. Barnaba in 3rd. He's hanging in there tight with a 252. And again, all 4 rounds count. So that will definitely help Gary Hunt's campaign to win his 11th King Kakili Trophy as we look at David Kolturi. Having a great event so far after 2 rounds. David diving number 7. Worked with me in the broadcast booth in Polonyao Amare. Rosie, who's sitting where you are now. It's fun to chat with him and get up to speed. He's injured. He's going to have a rotator cuff surgery again after this stop. 14 podiums in the 13 years of competition. Total legend. People know who he is. in the diving world and the folks in Boston who've hung around and watched this event, they know all about Dave.
And his work ethic is fabulous. He wants this so bad. He trains hard for this. He's showing up every competition with the most and best preparation.
Okay, here we go. David Coulteri in the middle of the men's third round of diving. His very good friend, Steve Lobu. With over the years.
We'll see an inward triple half. Oh,
right.
That's great.
Dave Coulteri locking it in tight. Into the Boston Harbour. Molly Carlson and Aiden Heslop, they appreciate it.
There we go.
So Coulteri, here's the deal, Rosie. You have, when you look at the list now, and you have Coulteri putting down a dive like this, and you have the battle between Hunt and Konstantin Popovich, you have people like Dave who could shake this up, right? Like, you know, he's not in the running for the King Kakili Trophy, but he can determine potentially who might win it.
Exactly, and you want to be in that position. Because when you know you're far away from the trophy, you still want to be up there. You still want to be known for the best. You still want to put up a quality dive in front of the judges. They need just that. It's beautiful.
I think Steve was just
the point.
I think Steve was like, dude, look at my kid. Look at my kids. Here's what my kids are doing today. I don't even know if they were looking at dives. Dave Coulteri with a 266.60 is a combined score so far, locking down the top spot midway through the men's competition, putting the heat on. Konstantin Popovich is next. Needs a big dive to stay within distance of Gary Hunt. In fact, he needs to move ahead of Gary Hunt. And then again in the fourth round if he wants to lift his second ever King Kakili Trophy and shut down Gary, hoisting it up for the 11th time in his career.
Costa with a lot of preparation on the platform, visualizing the dive, doing a little bit of simulation here of what he wants to feel in the air, how he wants to place his arms, pumping up the muscles. He'll be doing the same dive in a triple half in the pike position. Oh, good.
Gary's paying attention to this.
Oh, he's watching closely.
Definitely paying attention.
Yeah, and Costa not in a place he usually is. Usually he's diving in the last two divers. Now 8th in this competition. He needs good quality dives.
He does well under pressure, Rosie, but this is a lot of pressure.
Absolutely.
Diving in the middle. Like,
oh, look at that. A bit close to the platform, to my taste.
Then the question will be from the viewers who are new to the sport. Has anybody ever hit the platform with their toe?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. The direction of the jump was really high. He needs to lean back a little bit more, but he didn't lose focus in the air, didn't pay too much attention to that, and then finished strong.
All right, see what the judges think of Costa's dive. Just based on his points from the last round, he should stay right in there. He did. 91.8 on that. That's what's in yellow. He adds that together with the first 2 rounds. So 3 rounds added together, 272.60. So Popovich is in the lead, Kulturi in second, and Gary Hunt in third with a 257. So it's not so much about positioning, Rosie, it's more about the points. So you have the 257 of Hunt compared to the 272 of Popovich. So that is super tight between the two. It's going to come down to the fourth round to decide who will win the King Koch-Healy Trophy for 2025. On the men's side, Brandon Iflin's already locked it in on the women's side. Now you have the other Romanian, Catalin Preda, 34 years old. Great aerial awareness. He had that little mishap last year here in Boston. It wasn't such a mishap. He had a good dive.
Just
Kind
the
of got hit a little bit weird in the chin and the jaw area, just with the water, and it's like a boxer getting hit, just in an unknown area that just really, messed things up for a bit. He's coming back strong, though, considering he's 9th to go of 12. That means he's ranked high coming into this third round.
Oh, did you hear the reaction of people in the air?
Whoa. I just get nervous now, Rosie, when he comes in, right? If it's just a little bit short, just that chin area.
But he's got so much experience. If he wasn't in full confidence up that platform, he wouldn't jump off. So he knows he's in the right spot, right headspace to do a really good dive. And what scared the people watching is that he started with a forward rotation with a pike, then started twisting. Some of them start with the twist, and then he barely touched his leg and started the twisting position. So there's so many things happening at the same time. Jump off right here. The pike barely touching, then so straight going in the twist, then piking again without touching the legs. Core work again. So strong. And then Barony out to land in the water. You saw the yeah, the chin hit a little bit, but this time around was good for him.
I mean, everybody's so cool and chill on this World Series, but Catalin's one of the nicest dudes you run into in the lobby of the hotel, whatever. He'll give you his time.
He always says hi, catch up.
Same with Dave Kulturi there. They're good friends. They did a Red Bull project together called Hidden Cliffs in Saudi Arabia. Check it out, actually, on Red Bull TV. Three divers to go in the men's third round before we move on to the pressure rounds. Round number 4, the final round, and in the final stop of the season coming up shortly, beginning with the women, 12, and then followed by 12 men in the fourth round. At first, 3 men left in the third round, including Alexei Prigorov, 38-year-old from Ukraine. He needs some good points here, Rosie, to get that permanent diver spot next year as well.
3.6 degree of difficulty, and I think it's such a beautiful dive that he's going to do. A reverse 3 somersaults, 1 twist. Good.
Graceful in the air.
Very unique dive. That's fun for the judges as well. You see so many of the same dives round after round, but he switched things up. And it's to its advantage.
Prigorov competed in the Olympic Games, a bronze medal in Beijing 2008. Wait, you competed in 2008, right?
Absolutely. I was at the Olympics with him back in 2008. He was doing the 3-meter synchro, so that's a big change. From 3-meter to 27-meter. So a full diving career, now an amazing high diving career like this. Look at that jump, and he's a tall diver as well. So to have a tuck position so small is very impressive. And the line right here in that Barony, super pretty.
He kept it a lot tighter than in Mostar, the last stop.
Yes.
But he's got a lot. His fourth and final round is pretty busy, though. He's got a lot happening.
He's got a big dive. Yeah, I saw his biggest dive in practice earlier today. He's in a good form. It was quite impressive.
So we'll see how Prigorov comes in and how he shakes things up. Again, in the men's battle for the King Ka-Akili Trophy 2025, yet to be determined who will win it. So 282.30. Prigorov doesn't have enough points to win the trophy at this point, or highly likely. I mean, if people have to not show up for the fourth round, but nevertheless, that's going to help him with his permanent diver spot for next season. All right, Carlos Jimenez bringing a whole kit out there. What's going on? He's got. Does he put a chamois in a dry bag?
Sandals.
And he's tightened up.
Yeah, it happens really often. You have your old package that you need with you up on the platform, but then you don't want to go back up again.
Here's my room key. Here's my phone.
Exactly.
Carlos Jimenez. Final diver before James Lichtenstein in the men's third round. So.
Yeah, and the last two divers will be doing the same dive, a reverse triple tuck. Good. Clean entry. Love that.
Carlos Jimenez trying to earn some solid points in a good position going into the fourth round. Jimenez right now sitting number 4 in the World Series points list with 36 points, only 1 point behind Jonathan Paredes, another diver who could shake things up. Mainly for Konstantin Popovic is really what it comes down to, because Popovic is the one who needs to stay ahead of Hunt, and Hunt needs to drop lower in the standings today to even give Costa a shot. But right now, Jimenez putting this one down nicely.
Really nice tuck position, a bit far off the platform, but look at that. Kicks out, look at his feet, then look back. Beautiful layout position. Stayed rounded a little bit at the end, but hits the water with a good impact, solid body to limit some splash.
84.60. So Carlos Jimenez, he could still win the title. Again, anything can happen in the fourth round, with
Absolutely.
points and whatever might shake down, but it's not that he's out. It's just some others are going to have to not do well on their dives, and he's going to have to win this thing. 282.0. So puts Jimenez into second. Prigorov with the lead at 282. So only 2-point difference between Prigorov and Jimenez, and Popovic in third with a 272. Remember, Hunt in sixth, but again, more about the points coming into the fourth round. James Lichtenstein, USA crowd going nuts for this guy. No American male has ever won on U.S. soil. James wants to change that today. 30-year-old, newly crowned World Aquatics high diving champion. Top seed after 2 rounds. Goes in reverse order. You're new to cliff diving. And then it'll go in reverse order again going into the fourth and final round for the men and women. In this case, Rhiannon Iflin will be diving last for the women. James Lichtenstein. What's he doing here, Rosie?
Same dive as Carlos, a reverse triple tuck.
His time. 27 meters, 90 feet off the harbor. A lot of thinking. Oh, and the patience pays off, Rosalie. Oh.
And it's the first time I actually noticed on this dive that he's looking in front of him, down, up and down a few times before he goes. He really needs to feel 100% ready, taking the time to breathe, thinking about technique, have a visual of safety around him. And I knew it was going to be a good dive right here, the jump. Look how high in that vertical direction. Super impressive. And right here, he always opens up with confidence. It was just a matter of being patient right here before bringing the arms down. And he did it beautifully.
So getting that height right from the start helps get things done right away.
Exactly. It's all about the direction.
Look at this,
Yes.
Rosie, 9.5. Big score for James Lichtenstein. I ran into him and his family last night. His mom had a King James t-shirt on. She was fired up. 100 on that, folks. So James Lichtenstein with a 309, a big margin between Lichtenstein and Prigorov. Holy smokes. So James Lichtenstein.
It's getting interesting on the men's side.
Coming in hot. It'll be the top seed entering the fourth and final round. Trying to be the first male to win on U.S. soil in a Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series, and also trying to shake things up on who will win the King Koch-Healy Trophy.
They're bringing their A game today.
Tell me about it. This is incredible competition. Steve LeBeau there has to be a huge reward for him, right? He stops diving in I think 2021, and he'll come out and coach these guys to the top seed going to the fourth and final round of the biggest cliff diving World Series on the planet. Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series here in Boston. Fourth and final round coming up in the fourth and final stop of the 2025 season. It's King James Lichtenstein, 309. Leading the charge coming in. So you have Prigorov, Jimeno, and then Popovich in fourth. That 272, Coulterio, the nice job, hanging in there fifth. Big story today, coming into the fourth and final round. Who on the men's side will win the King Koch-Healy Trophy? Which women and men will earn permanent diver spots for the 2026 season? Gary Hunt, seventh place right now with 2:17.15. So Gary was in seventh, and things stopped right now. He'd have 55 points, but great round three, Rosie, making things super interesting. We're going to have to do some quick math here in the fourth round on the men's side.
What would be interesting as well is that now we're going to increase the degree of difficulties. There's some really hard dives on the men's side, even on the women. Will Rhiannon have a perfect season? Molly's here, ready, very happy. So it should be interesting. We're not done yet.
We are not done yet. 3 rounds in the books here in the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. 2 took place yesterday. The 3rd round now in the books for today. The 4th and final round you can watch here on our Red Bull Cliff Diving YouTube channel if you want to stay here, or check it out on Red Bull TV. We'll be live for the 4th round from the Seaport District in Boston shortly. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series Grand Finale. We're coming to you live from Boston Seaport District, the heart of New England, where history, skyline, and the sea all collide into one epic backdrop. I'm Trace Worthington alongside two-time Olympic diving medalist Rosaline Filion. Thanks for joining us. And today, Rosie, the pressure is at a whole new level today. Beautiful day here in Boston.
It is the last stop of the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series, last dive of the season. So much at stake. On the men's side, the King Kaikili Trophy, and on the women's side, Rhiannon Iflin. Will she have a perfect season, winning everything so far in the season?
That is the big question. The season kicked off in El Nido, Philippines. Stop 2 was in Polignano Amare, the most visited location of all time. Mostar, Bosnia and Herzegovina was the last stop 2 weeks ago. That brings us here to Boston, USA for the season finale of the 2025 season. And you have these guys right here, Hunt, Popovich, Paredes, and Jimeno, the top 4 in the World Series points. Coming in hot would be Gary Hunt with his 49 points. He's trying to win his 11th Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series title. Konstantin Popovich trying to win number 2. Paredes as well. He's won it before back in 2017. Carlos Jimeno hasn't won a King Kaikili Trophy. Will today be his day? He's very solid coming into the 4th and final round. It is going to be interesting between these 4. Gary Hunt competed in the Olympics last year, and then he comes back. Everyone thought, well, he's going to be down in the rankings. He comes in hot, Rosaline, with a win in El Nido, Philippines at stop number 1.
Just to show off that he's made for the sport, and no matter how long he's away, he's going to be back and really well performing.
And then there was Jimeno with this arm stand dive in Polignano Amare, Italy.
With the waves, is so impressive. Quality was really high in that competition, and it makes a difference.
And then how about Mostar, Bosnia and Herzegovina, coming back strong. He was way low in the ranks, and then all of a sudden he crawls back up. Konstantin Popovich winning it. 3 different male winners so far in 2025.
Very interesting. The degree of difficulty made a huge difference in that competition, and it was well done for Konstantin.
So Gary Hunt leading with 49 points, 7 points over Konstantin Popovich. Jonathan Paredes in 3rd, and Jimeno, all 3 guys in contention for the King Kaikili Trophy. Also permanent diver positions at stake. So this 4th and final round for the women and the men, super important. Only 8 permanent diver spots are awarded for the 2026 season. But first, we'll see the women dive. Rhiannon Iflin once again dominating the World Series with 3 straight wins and with enough points after the last stop to secure her 9th King Kaikili Trophy. She's unstoppable. See if she can win today and make it a perfect season. So far, a perfect season. Let's recap.
Oh, that was absolutely beautiful from start to finish. She never takes anything for granted. She shows up to competition with good training and confidence. And look at those dives. They're just so consistent at a high level. That is so impressive. El Nido outdoors, and then showing off to Polignano with 2 meters waves going in, being the only athlete who's able to adjust in these conditions, especially at a high level, and showing up to Mostar. Really, those entry was phenomenal, and she knew by winning this competition that she locked in the King Kaikili Trophy.
So there you have it, the permanent diver spots on the line. Molly Carlson is back after taking 2 stops off, but a permanent diver spot, 4 men and 4 women. The overall series standings after today's final will be a lock. Rhiannon Iflin already locked down her 9th King Kaikili Trophy. But those permanent diver spots, there are 8 of them total offered. And so it is going to be important, again, for today and the results. You don't want to be a wild card diver going into the next season. You want to be a permanent diver. So Rhiannon Iflin locking in another trophy with 62 points. Kaylee Arnett trying to get into the top 3. And then you have a great group of women coming into this 4th and final round. But if you're new to Red Bull Cliff Diving, here's how it all works. Check it out.
Each Red Bull Cliff Diving event features 8 permanent and 4 wildcard divers per gender. There are 4 rounds of diving with varying levels of difficulty. The panel of 5 judges has less than 3 seconds to evaluate the parts of each dive. The judges then award scores from 0 to 10. The highest and lowest scores are eliminated, and the remaining 3 added together. This total, multiplied by the degree of difficulty, gives the dive score. And all 4 dives are added together for the event score. Finally, series points are awarded at every event, with a bonus point for the best dive of the competition. At the end of the series, the divers with the highest series points are awarded the King Kahikili Trophy.
3 rounds of diving have concluded, 1 more to go. Rosie, let's get up to speed on what went down in the earlier rounds for the women.
Well, Molly Carlson is back on the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. A stunning dive. She had a difficult season this year, and she wanted to be here in Boston just to be like, it doesn't matter if it went bad for me earlier this year, but I'm ready, and my dives are really, really good. Lisa Faulkner, her second round of dive, the master of the handstand. I mean, she did that dive in practice so many times. She wanted to perfect it, and when she showed up in competition, it was perfect.
Nice.
The position and the ability to stand on that platform when not being afraid at all. It's one thing to do it on the ground, the handstand, but then on 20-meter platform,
Yeah.
it's another story. And then what about quality? When we think about quality diving, we think about Rhiannon Iflin. Third round of dive, the one that just happened here. So beautiful. And she needed to do a good score to stay on top of the ranking. Molly was right behind her. They did the same dive, so she had pressure on her shoulder. She's like, well, let's get 9s on that dive.
And what about this in El Nido on the men's side?
And I feel it's a bit of the same story. The comeback from Gary Hunt after the 2024 Olympic Games. He's back with the hard dives, and he's just so happy to be back with his family that he did a really good dive in. Carlos Jimenez, we talked about it, his handstand dive. It was so good in that dive. The quality, the winning, the champagne, that's what it's all about.
3 different men have celebrated
Yes.
the top of the podium so far this season, and this was only 2 weeks ago in Mostar, Bosnia and Herzegovina, when Konstantin Popovic, James Lichtenstein, who's leading into the 4th round of the men, was like, yep, you got it.
Yeah, every time someone wins, the other ones are like, well, I'm not done yet. I have my dives in. There's one opportunity left, and let's make it interesting, and that's what's happening right now here in Boston.
It's a beautiful day in Boston, 25 degrees Celsius, 77 Fahrenheit. Perfect weather for the spectators and the divers. The water temperature, a little chilly, Rosie, 18 degrees Celsius, 64 Fahrenheit. Wind speed, fluctuating a little bit, but really mellow and good for the divers. So a beautiful day here in the Seaport District of Boston. The tower that you see, the platform, is mounted to the ICA building, the Institute of Contemporary Art. We'll talk about that momentarily, but the start list for the women's 4th and final round. We'll start with Maria Paula Quintero, the experienced one, and you have the American Maya Kelly, only 18 years old, diving number 2. Simone Leathead, diving number 6. She's got some pressure on her, currently sitting 3rd in the overall World Series points. Xanthia Panisi getting up into the ranks after the 2nd round and 3rd round of diving. And you have 3 Americans all in a row: Carpenter, Arnett, Faulkner, and we'll cap it off with the greatest of all time, Rhiannon Iflin. But Molly Carlson, she will dive before Rhi, and that she wants to make a statement and try to win here at the final stop. Our judges, great panel: Anka Piper, Simone Latimer, Ginger Huber, former World Series diver, who was the first woman to ever score a 10 on the World Series, Valerio Palazzo, and then Antonio Martinez of Mexico. So the judges are positioned just down below to the left-hand side. So if you're looking at the platform, the top of it, you see the dock on the left-hand side where the boats are. The judges are sitting right underneath the platform. That, the ICA building, the Institute of Contemporary Art, is where that platform is mounted. The women's platform, 21 meters, 70 feet off the water. The men, 27 meters, 90 feet off the water. 4th round, 12 women. Then we'll get into 12 men. And here is Maria Paula Quintero, 25-year-old Colombian.
Last dive of the season for her. An inward 3 somersaults, half a twist in the tuck position. A 3.7 degree of difficulty. Now we're getting to high DD rounds.
Orlando Duque, our Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series sports director, legend, retired in 2019. He's here making sure everything's cool, safe for the divers. There goes Maria, packed with experience. All right, opening dive. Yeah, she will be. Maria Paula Quintero just drilling one into the Boston Harbor to start things off.
I said she was going to be happy with that one just because the previous round was a bit difficult. And when you finish strong like that, it feels so good. She still got confidence on the top, beautiful takeoff right here. And what's the difference, which is really interesting, is that now there's shadow with where the athlete's going in the water.
Last round.
Exactly, between the last round. And super sunny when you're standing on the platform, and when you're about to land in the water, then turns completely dark.
Wow.
So you really have to trust the training, trust muscle memory to know exactly where you are and not adjust too much.
So the ICA building blocking the sun, making things interesting as the day goes on. The tide now has also shifted. We're heading into lower tide, which means there's a little bit more height to the platform. So here, how it all works. You have those 3 scores highlighted in white. 81.40 on that dive. So all 4 rounds added together, 246.25. If you're new to cliff diving, again, all 4 rounds, 2 rounds yesterday and the 2 rounds today are all added together, so everything counts. And that is the warm-up area. Nelly Chukadevska, we'll see dive shortly. Just a couple divers from now gets warmed up. Newest cliff diver to the scene is young Maya Kelly, former gymnast from Lake Elmo, Minnesota. Let's get to know her a little bit better.
I was a gymnast for 12 years and I stopped doing that and I transitioned to diving quickly after that. I started just hands first diving, and then my former coach Ellie Smart got me into high diving, and I've kind of just worked my way up to where I am now, and now I travel all around the world for it, and it's my favorite thing to do and something that I want to do for the rest of my life. So I honestly love the fear of cliff diving. I think, I'm always scared and nervous when I go up there, but once I land and hit the water and I know it's a good dive, it's definitely a really relieving feeling and a special feeling, and I think that's what keeps me going.
So Maya Kelly, thousands of fans, her family's here. Man, this should be nerve-wracking, only 18 years old.
Imagine for the future having that experience of a home soil World Series competition with la crème de la crème, the best of the best. And then you have to show up and do your hardest dive, an inward 3 somersaults, half a twist. Pike. A 3.9 degree of difficulty.
21 meters, 70 feet off the Boston Harbor.
Oh,
come on!
Maya!
There you go. That's how you get attention on the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series at 18 years old.
Impressive composure at that age with that much pressure on their shoulder. Didn't show at all. Strong takeoff. Pike position, really squeezed in, grabbed behind her knees. Looking at that water, bringing the arms together along the legs. Right here, I think she went downwards a little bit too much. That's why you won't see some perfect scores. But right here, so good. And that entry, it's the last image the judges will have.
Yeah,
and it's an important one.
They're down below, close to that landing zone. So Maya Kelly, 5 judges, scored between 1 and 10, the high and the lower toss. She'll keep 3 7s, multiply that by 3.7 degree of difficulty. So on that score in yellow, 81.90 on her 4th round. You add all 4 together, 270.60 for the young Maya Kelly, a former gymnast. It was discovered by Ellie Smart, who inspired her Ellie Smart, Red Bull cliffdiving athlete and diver on our World Series as well, inspiring her to get involved in the sport. So Maya Kelly, 2 to go of 12 women. Beautiful shot of the ICA building, massive glass walls providing that nice panoramic view of the harbor. So the divers in these different locations, Rosie, around the world, they have the best views of anybody.
It's so funny. People are just going for a visit at the museum, stop on that level, and are watching a high diving competition.
Here's Elisa Cassetti. Yeah, here's Elisa Cassetti. And Andrea Barnaba, her boyfriend, who we'll see dive shortly on the men's side, currently ranked number 8 in the World Series point standings, meaning Elisa, she's got to have a big dive here to pull up in the points.
Same time as Maya, just in a tuck position this time. Good.
Right, making things interesting, Elisa Cassetti. She's hit the podium before last year in Oslo. This is only her 17th start on the World Series. Coached by Alessandro De Rose. What do you think of that dive, Rosie?
I love the speed. At the beginning, I thought it was way too fast, but because she went downwards a little bit, she was able to have enough time to adjust her speed. Right here, when you're looking down, tuck position is beautiful. Kicks in with confidence, arms on the side. Right here at the end, though, she lifts her head up, but the body didn't follow, so that feels short at the end.
That water depth about 7 meters, maybe between 16 and 20 feet, depending on the tide and the time of day. So in yellow, 66.60. Add that together with the first 3 rounds. Cassetti, 261.20. Young Maya Kelly still in the number 1 spot with the points of 276.0. We are only 3 deep, now 4, as the women warm up for their 4th and final round. Orlando Duque, World Series sports director, keeping an eye on things. Nelly Chukanievska, talk about her dive style and the different dive styles of all the divers, but you like her style, Rosie.
I really like it. The way she stands on the platform, and I feel like when she goes up in the air, compared to many other athletes where you see the muscle work, she's so smooth. I feel her hands, the way she plays them, like almost a high five. She directs the dive so smoothly, so relaxed, and then bring everything back together. It's very unique. Sometimes it's hard to explain, but the way she does it, it's so smooth, like a walk in the park, and you don't feel scared when you watch her dive. So
2 18-year-olds here. You have Maya Kelly, who we saw, and Nelly Chukanievska, who's 18 but younger than Maya Kelly. Big start to the season with that 3rd place finish in El Nido, Philippines. Yeah, I love her style too. Hard worker.
And now she's doing a 4.4 degree of difficulty, an arm stand back, 2.5 somersaults, 2 twists in the pike position. Now, it's her first time competing it. She wanted to do it in Mostar a couple of weeks ago, but she didn't manage to do it in training. And when you bring up a new dive, you have to show it to the judges, and then they'll decide if it's safe enough for you to compete it. So now that she did here, she's allowed to compete it in the final.
Safety divers down below. They splash water for visuals for the divers. Also there in case something goes wrong on the entry. Wow, look at this.
Press up handstand.
21 meters, 70 feet off the water.
Fingers are working well with the wind.
Just a little bit over-rotated. Oleg, her coach knows it. Risk versus reward. That's maybe a good time to talk about that.
Well, it's the last competition of the season. If you want to bring in a new dive when you're not going for the King Kai Kili Trophy, why not do it now? Because you're then ready for the next season, knowing that you broke the ice with the dive and it's already made. You know how to feel in competition. The thing is, she was quite fast. She lost a lot of energy holding on to that handstand, which she did beautifully, but still, right here. She's giving 100%, push off the platform, and the pike position stays a bit big at the end, so it doesn't stop. And to stop the rotation, you have to bring your arms up in the air, not completely on the side. But then it was a bit too late here at the end. Good try, though.
Very good try. Chukanievska trying to work her way back onto the scene as a permanent diver. 8 permanent divers will be awarded spots for next season. They won't have to qualify in any way, shape, or form as a wild card diver. She pulls into the lead with 276.65, but they all know that that score is in jeopardy when you look at the names coming up. Gina Van Kotvik is next, strong diver. Simone Leadhead will cap off the women's 4th round with Molly Carlson, followed by Rhiannon Ifland. So if you've just joined us, Trace Worthington alongside Rosaline Filion, Seaport District of Boston. Stop number 4, the final stop of the 2025 season. Rhiannon Ifland has wrapped up the King Kakili Trophy with enough points already. Once we finish the 12 women, we'll get into the 12 men. That King Kakili Trophy is still yet to be undecided. Now we look at 40-year-old diver Jeannie Van Kotvik. Landed on the podium last year in Northern Ireland. Throwing her chamois down. That's just to, dry themselves off, right?
Exactly, just what you saw. She's drying off her body to make sure there's no water drops anywhere on your bathing suit to feel comfortable and ready. And it's also a good way to push your stress out.
A little teddy bear.
Yeah, exactly. It is.
Good luck, chamois. Here we go.
Look
job.
at that.
Matt Cooper, also a diver on the World Series. Her husband, he's loving it.
Love the reaction.
Great adjustment between the earlier rounds and now, Rosie.
Absolutely, and that shows just how mentally strong she is. She had a difficult 3rd round of dive, but she's like, nope, I'm gonna finish this competition like it's meant to be for me with a strong dive and let go of the little mistakes that she's done earlier. The pike position could have been a bit more squeezed in, but then look at that, disappearing underwater.
Great lift.
Beautiful direction, waited a little bit before going in the half twist here, wobbling in the pike position. But that's the opportunity we have to see, like in a slow motion. The judges don't have access to any replays at all, so it's hard to see when it's regular speed.
So Matt Cooper, her husband, coaches her, loving what he's seeing, proud of his wife with an 87.75 on that. Needed that for her confidence. 298.25. So Van Kotvik will now set the pace on the women's side. Big point spread between 1 and 2 with Kotvik and Chukanievska. Simone Leadhead now makes her way. I mean, just the journey to the platform, all the way up the stairs.
It's a workout.
It's a workout. They go through different doors and work your way out onto the roof of the Institute of Contemporary Art, then walk down the ladder onto the platform. So just the journey tires these divers out. And look at Simone.
Simone, she's so funny. She's not afraid to stand on that platform. She goes really quick. And one thing from this season, she had some difficulties in Mostar a couple of weeks ago, and she decided to change her Crocs. She's superstitious. Like, I had a pair of Crocs, and then I don't really like them. I brought back the ones that I'm more comfortable, and she's diving better. Oh! Wow. Amazing from Simone.
Leadhead punching one through into the Boston Harbor. That will go over big with the judges.
What a relief. And it's not about the Crocs. Now she's really good as well.
I like the story.
Yeah, it's fun to get to know these athletes. And I feel like she's really emotional about the dive. A hard season for her. She started off strong and came back fighting those doubts in her mind to finish the year, the season, with an amazing dive like that. Beautiful takeoff. Love the squat. Straight position going in the twist. Waiting to grab her legs. looking at that water with confidence. Love the layout position in the Barony. No adjustments needed to get in the water. It'll feel good for her to finish like that.
You're welcome.
Currently third in the overall World Series points, dropping 1 place back to Kaylee Arnett. This will help her with that cause of getting back up into that second place position. Finished second in Polignano Amare. Is 1 place behind Rhiannon Iflin. Same result at the World Championships of the World Aquatics High Diving World Champs. A silver medal behind Rhee. They're right now making a surge in the 4th and final round with the 3:11.60 for Leadhead. Wow. Over 30,000 spectators in the past couple days coming out to watch the world's best here in the Seaport District of Boston, the 4th and final stop of the 2025 season. We'll see Maylee Carpenter coming up shortly, but first it's Xanthia Panizzi of Australia out onto the women's platform, 21 meters, 70 feet off the harbor. Talk about those docks and how close they are in that landing zone. Now you add in a little bit of the darkness of the shade, Rosie. You're not in that indoor arena with just lights that are consistent throughout the day and night.
That's what's fun about the Rebel events. There's always a little bit of a challenge somewhere, and the athletes thrive for it. That's good.
Right, there you go.
Oh, she's going to be happy with that one.
Great line ripping into the water.
Yeah.
And there's Molly Carlson, who will sea dive shortly. Talk about how much camaraderie there is with these divers and how they just watch each other and cheer each other on. Even though they're getting prepared for their dive, they're still out there watching and cheering each other on.
Absolutely, even if they're competing against each other. That's how close they are. And an important dive for Xanthia here. A couple of weeks ago in Mostar, she didn't perform it as good as she hoped for, but look at that handstand position this time around. She stayed so long. Look at that takeoff. Beautiful position. The core work to get to your legs in that position is quite phenomenal.
I would break in half.
And right here, a lot of hip movement in the Barony to make sure she lands vertically. But it's such an improvement from the last competition. Elle should be proud of it.
Beautiful entry. 5 judges score between 1 and 10. The high and the lower tossed. The remaining 3 multiplied by the degree of difficulty. So in yellow, you are going to see that 4th round dive score of 87.40. And you add all 4 rounds together between yesterday and today, 305.90 for Xanthia Panizzi. So Leadhead still with the top score after all 4 rounds of 311.60. Panizzi is 7th to go of 12. So we've hit the halfway mark of the women's 4th round. Permanent diver spots on the line. Leadhead, Panizzi, Van Katvik, and you see who's coming up, including Ifland, who is the now 9-time King Kahkili Trophy winner. Carlson on a mission to win this final stop of the season after taking the last stop off. Lots been going on here in Boston. Always fun here at the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series, even if it's just not the event itself. This is, we call our teaser dive, and it's just fun for social media and for the athletes to just get out of their realm of the platform scene and dive. In this case, Rosie, just off a boat, no big deal in the harbor, just off the mast.
And Kaylee Arnett having a difficult time to get to the platform, but how beautiful is that? Having the opportunity to experience something like that here around the world. It's not the first time that they do something like this. It's quite unique and phenomenal.
Big thanks to Boston and the fans for making it fun and bringing in some beautiful weather. The next to drop off the ICA Institute of Contemporary Art building is Maylee Carpenter of the United States. Took 4.5 days to build that structure, by the way. Bring it in on barges, and big poles and towers and platforms. Tied for the highest DD here in round 4 is Maylee Carpenter. No surprise, she's always throwing out the big stuff. Is Steve Lobu, that guy right there, former World Series diver who retired in 2011, coaches a lot of the U.S. divers and a lot of the other divers that are on the World Series as well. But Nice to have Steve here as Maylee Carpenter comes in. Steve appreciates it.
Not wasting any time on the platform. As you said, a high degree of difficulty, a 4.4. With the back, 3 somersaults, 2 twist pike. Well executed. I would love to see her pike more squeezed in. And at the end, I feel she's letting go a little bit. So powerful, beautiful jump, beautiful position in the twist. But right here, it gets difficult. And then after that, I would love to see a bit more control with the arms at the end.
Carpenter earned her first World Series podium here in Boston as a wild card diver in 2022. Another podium that same season. Today, her 28th career start. After making her debut in 2021, Boston's treated her well. She's never been out of the top 5. Might be tough today, sitting in 4th with 298.15, considering who's coming up on the women's start list. So, women's 4th, final round. Maylee Carpenter was 8 to go of 12, 4 left. Here on a beautiful day in the Seaport District of Boston. So Arnett coming up next, but you see the leaderboard with Leadhead with that 3:11 setting the tone. Only 6 points over Panizzi. And Kaylee Arnett has had a great personality, and she talks about her season and what it's been like.
The most special moment for me was in the Philippines, round 1. We got to the Logan Island and I could just kind of feel this energy coming from above, and I realized, oh my gosh, it's my mom. My mom is watching me from above, and I really felt that. And I did my dive and it was so special. I checked out and it was like I was in purgatory for a while. I hit the water and I got 9.5s. And before my mom passed, she used to say that she was going to be the pink in the sunsets. And then that boat ride, after the first round, it was just drenched in pink, and it was like a big hug from my mom, and that she's proud of me of what I'm doing here. So that one hit deep for me in the Philippines.
Kaylee Arnett coming from a family of daredevils.
I just love her. She's so fun.
She is. Her grandfather was inducted into the Texas Hall of Fame for sprint and car dirt racing. Father was a stunt man.
That makes sense.
She was in rodeos when she was a kid. Yeah, you're like, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
She has been a great add-on and a fun personality to the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. The 2-year-old Texas-born, now living in Las Vegas.
And I think she's going to perform, not I think, I know, but my favorite dive of the competition. I think the more beautiful, unique, she's the only one who's doing it, a reverse 3 somersaults in the pike position. And pay attention to it. It's just so pretty.
So it looked okay. When you look at the dive, yeah, Rosie, and you look at her coming into the water, where you said, oh no,
yeah,
was her arms coming above her head.
Exactly. And maybe it's because of the crowd's reaction in the air. We'll have to see a different angle from where we saw it. Everything seems fine. But she wasn't comfortable at the end. That's why she lifted her arms up.
Maybe she wants the crowd. We have over 30,000 spectators for the past 2 days here. Tons today. Maybe she likes that hype.
Of course.
She hasn't been a show diver.
Yeah, the thing is she opened way too late in her position. And after that, you can't do anything about it. Right here on the takeoff, that's quite close to the platform as well. Yeah, she didn't touch it, I feel. We would have heard something. Okay. But right here, the way she opened, she arched her body a lot, and then with the movement, the pressure, you can't do much. If you bring your arms down at this time, you're going to land on your back. So she left them up to stop the rotation.
So good for her to sacrifice to save herself.
Yeah.
The body, right?
Let's see if she touched the platform. We'll see it better here. That might. Yeah, it's like maybe
like
not
she
even.
Her toes in.
Exactly, she knew it. Maybe 1 centimeter away from touching the platform. Let's see what the judges will make of that.
Well, going over that is an automatic big deductions.
Yeah, when the judges are actually afraid to watch you because you think it's so close, it's not higher than 3s and 2.5s. That's too bad for her. She was doing so well.
Well, and she's second in the World Series points behind Rhiannon Ifland and ahead of Simone Leedhead. And the fact that Simone Leedhead, here it is again.
Yeah.
See, she just pulls her toes in, almost like you said.
No, she did. She did touch.
Just nicked it.
Oh, and you know what? She's really lucky that it didn't stop the rotation that much, because it could stop your rhythm pretty hard when you touch the platform like that.
There you go. That answered a lot of questions for our viewers.
Yeah, of course.
People always wonder if the divers hit the platform, their toes, their head, land on their stomach and back. The answer is, well, yes.
Good news is she was okay when she came out of the water.
All right, here's Lisa Faulkner. So impressive. Coming onto the scene, already landing on the podium, 37 years old. Delray Beach, Florida. Level 10 gymnast before transitioning into diving.
Amazing second career so far with a back triple pike. Oh, the end.
So you have this added pressure, and this again where the experience comes in, Rosie, for these divers. And you see Carlson and Ifland, the consistency that they've had, the repetition of cliff diving. The traditional divers come in and get good results here and there, but it's a lot different. It's a lot different scene on the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series.
Absolutely.
And real quick, a lot of the divers come from different backgrounds too.
Yep.
Like we talk about her gymnastics background. Rhiannon Ifland has, gymnastics and trampoline background.
Exactly. And you could tell just by the way she grabs her pike and the way she takes off that she's a gymnast. She used to be a gymnast. Now a full-on high diver. And we'll be able to tell more about the dive because the takeoff was really good. The pike position, beautiful as well. She opened a bit early. Love the layout position. So pretty. But here, didn't pike enough at the end to get the hips high enough so the body is comfortable to get to that vertical position. But still, what a season for her.
Thank you.
So Faulkner will settle for a 62.40 on that. Grand total after adding all 4 rounds together. She's like, 303.70. So not bad. She's still in third. And we have 2 divers left.
Simone is still leading the competition. Leading. She was 7th.
With that 3:11.60. So Simone Leedhead guaranteed a spot on the podium here at this final stop.
Yeah. She was 9th after round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
round 2 and
cruised up the leaderboard.
Look at that.
I love you.
It's not over until it's over. Fourth and final round. All 4 rounds count. You got to be consistent, and you can make comebacks like that. Molly Carlson. This is where we look at her round 1 dive. Let's check this out, Rosie.
I feel like it's a signature dive for her. She changed it a little bit in the last couple of competition, and she thought of bringing back this dive just for confidence, for feeling better also about herself. There's so much happened this season, and it was so well executed.
And then her boyfriend, Aiden Heslop, who jumped into the commentary booth with us yesterday, had back surgery. He was the King Khalili Trophy winner last season.
Yeah.
So just between that and him not traveling with her, it's been a tough season for Molly.
Absolutely.
Aiden, he'll be back for next season, for those wondering.
And just Aiden being here, he was telling us yesterday how helpful it is. And even now you saw Molly's mom, Kitty, that she flew across the country to come and watch her daughter dive.
Molly Carlson on a mission to win this final stop and shut down a perfect season for Rhiannon Iflin, who dives next. Can she do it?
With a lower degree of difficulty at 3.7 and inward 3 somersaults, half a twist, tuck. Yes,
Looks good.
Molly!
That's what you do right there to get it done. Yes.
Oh, and that reaction from her teammates, so beautiful. Look at Simone. She's battling for a place on the podium for a top spot and celebrating more about her teammate than herself.
Carlson, bunch of like 2 9s up there, a couple 8.5s. She turns 27 on Tuesday, September 23rd. Molly Carlson delivering a 4th round blow here into the Boston Harbor. Will that be enough to get her on top of the podium?
Oh, I would have given her a 9, 9.5 on this dive.
Yeah, you did shake your head when you looked at me when you saw the judges' scores come up.
I'm so sorry. I'm not in the same angle. I saw a beautiful takeoff, that tuck position. So much confidence here. That Barony is well executed. What I think made the difference here is that, I don't know, maybe the head for the entry. But I think 9 would have been a minimum for that dive.
So relieved.
Yeah.
Well, she'll keep one of the 9s with a 96 on that final round dive. And with all 4 rounds added together, Carlson 342.90.
At this
Moves
point,
way ahead of her teammate.
At this point, the final result points doesn't really matter. She came out here, she wanted to put on a show, and she did just that.
So the big question is, we come by 30 points, Carlson leads. So now we have Rhiannon Iflin, who's trying to make it a perfect season. She had enough points at the last stop to wrap up the entire World Series title and another King Keely Trophy, number 9. So Carlson, lead head, Canadians go 1 and 2. The Aussie Panizzi in 3rd right now. As Rhiannon Iflin, the GOAT of Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. And her 4th round blows, like a boxer, have been amazing over time.
I feel like it's her favorite round of dives. She knows that pressure is on, and she loves pressure. She said pressure is a privilege. She's always doing so well. She's going to be performing that dive later on, but look at that. Perfection every time. That's why you choose this dive at the end of the competition, because you're so confident performing it. You know in any circumstance you can pull it off and doing it so well. And she's been doing it amazingly around the world. And here it is today.
There you go, another 4th round magnificent dive. A masterpiece by Iflin.
She is the GOAT. You can't expect less from Rhiannon Iflin in a last round of dive as a last diver with so much pressure of having a perfect season and already knowing that you're winning the King Keely Trophy. You can be like, well, whatever I want, and I'll just do my final dive. But no, she wants to top it off with a perfect dive. She'll get those scores, I'm sure.
Just exploding on this entry. Unreal. Boom.
Yeah. Near perfection. Beautiful takeoff, the tuck position. I feel like I've seen this dive before, exactly like that.
Time and time again, Rhiannon Iflin, especially in that 4th and final round under pressure, already won the King Keely Trophy. The 5 judges are like, there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
That's the
What do you
winning
have,
dive.
Antonio? Antonio has the high over to the far right with that 9.5. All 9s. The greatest female cliff diver on the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series of all time. 9-time King Keely Trophy winner.
And no matter how often she wins, she never takes it for granted. She's always surprised. And look at that action.
And another win and a perfect season for Ifland.
Where's Mia?
Win number 45. Podium number 53.
Amazing. How do you do it?
How do you keep
What's your recipe for success?
body? I mean, you could get sick one day, right? You could wake up with a bad stomach ache or a stomach flu and whatever.
Injuries.
Equilibrium's off because of an ear infection. Nothing can stop this woman.
She's so adaptable to any situation, and that's why she's the greatest.
Well, it takes all 4 rounds. You got to check all the boxes to be on top of the podium in a Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. And that, again, the greatest pulled it off with 4 rounds of beautiful dives into the Boston Harbor here in the 4th stop.
And after the first round, she had to build herself back up again. She was quite far in the rankings, but she's so experienced that she didn't panic at all, came back stronger for the second round with a harder dive, her hardest of her list. Get that away. Beautifully made here. And when your hardest dive is done early in the competition, then you can cruise in and focus on enjoying yourself with high quality diving. Look at that entry, so beautiful.
It's pretty amazing. She's not only a 9-time Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series winner, she's also a 5-time World Aquatics High Diving World Champion. So you got to add other titles even above Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. Let's go down to the hot spot by the water. Rhiannon is with Max Kell. Max, take it away.
Rhiannon, congratulations. Still shaky?
Yeah, look, a little bit shaky. There was a lot of pressure on that one. I wanted to go for the clean sweep, and yeah, I saw Molly. I heard Molly's the cheers from her dive, and I was like, all right, pressure's on, game on, let's go. So it was super nice to be fighting again here in Boston with that same dive, and I came out on top this time. So yeah, super happy.
And nothing can stop Rhiannon Ifland, Trace said. So tell me, what does this perfect season mean to you?
Yeah, look, that's wild. It's really hard to put into words right now. You know, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes, so much effort that goes into pulling off something like that. And I think for any athlete in any sport, it's something that we all aim for. And yeah, I've managed to do it. I'm so proud of myself. And yeah, it's been great, like working with my team, my coach Joel back in Sydney, and family and friends supporting me all the way. And yeah, giving me that boost of energy to be able to pull it off.
Thank you, Rhi, for all the season. Have a good day, good evening, and good celebration today.
Yeah, let's go! Thanks, guys. Love you all.
The unstoppable and now undefeated Rhiannon Ifland. In front of over 30,000 spectators in the past 2 days here in Boston, enjoying the greatest female ever on the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series.
I love that she said that she's so proud of herself. You rarely hear something like that. Like, I've worked really hard. I put the effort in. I have a great team. And I'm proud. Like, she's a champion all around.
So you see on the left-hand side, that is the King Keeley Trophy that
That's
she'll be
hers.
hoisting up in just a bit. So Rhiannon Ifland, followed by the 2 Canadians. How about Molly Carlson coming back after slipping off the platform? Poniano Mare taking the last stop off in Mostar, but Simone Leadhead, big story there, pulling way up from the first round. Thought it was over for her yesterday, and even coming into the second round, then she starts kind of crawling up that leaderboard, ends up on the podium. So good job for her. And Rhiannon Ifland has the best dive, earns an extra point as if she needs another point. So Rhiannon Ifland, best dive, and that was in round 4, meaning the best judges overall raw score.
And that makes sense because as I said earlier, you want to keep the best for last. You want to keep your dive that you're not thinking too much, that you could do in your sleep, even if that sounds crazy, but it is a feeling you have on top of the platform that you got this.
So that fourth round dive, she also had the best round dive in round 3, just to kind of throw it in there. So Rhiannon Ifland with her 9th King Kahkili Trophy win with 83 points, steals the deal. Simone Leadhead, how about that?
Yeah.
So she moves into second over Kaylee Arnett. She drops to third, but Xanthi Panisi, so they're your top 4, which means they have automatic positions to next year as permanent divers. The remaining 4 might get confirmation on that earlier unofficially, or later unofficially, but nevertheless, what a great women's 4th and final round here in Boston. The men are coming up. All right, let's take a minute to check out Tales from the Cliffs. We're talking about the landing zones and the precision that goes with it. Check it out.
Cliff diving stems from traditional diving, but the unique challenges each location presents are what makes these athletes so extraordinary. In traditional diving, athletes work within fixed parameters, offering plenty of room for error. But in cliff diving, the landing zone doesn't always provide that luxury. Here in Boston, athletes plunge between 2 pontoons, landing within mere meters of those unforgiving hard surfaces. Watch closely when some athletes can shift to one side, bringing them within just meters of the pontoon. In Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, athletes made their breathtaking flight from the bright sunlight into a deep, dark cave, an immensely difficult visual adjustment when traveling at breakneck speed. What this highlights is the absolute need for accuracy, skill, and precision to ensure a safe landing. And what does a safe landing mean? Simple: not making contact with any objects or cliff faces in the surrounding area. Let's not forget, to accomplish this incredible feat, these athletes also need a healthy dose of pure bravery.
Pure bravery. Well said. Especially here in Boston, the docks, tight landing zones, and there are the King Kahkili trophies. Beautiful shot of those, named after Maui's last independent ruler, who was famous for leaping feet first from a high dive into the water without making a splash, and used cliff diving as a form of initiation for its warriors. Who will be the men's warrior? We'll find out. Let's check out highlights from the first 3 rounds.
Catalin Preda with one of my favorite dives, a blind entry done beautifully. I feel like it's the OG of cliff diving.
Totally.
Just that layout dive, so beautiful, and landed perfectly in the water and distancing himself from the others by the uniqueness of the dive. And then we have Konstantin Popovic, who shows up in the hardest dive in round 2.
Wow.
Handstand twist, and those transitions super well executed, landing in the water perfectly, giving himself a chance for the King Kahkili trophy. And let's not forget about James here. Amazing round 3 dive. He's been, the second half of the season has been the best for him. A difficult start, but now he's here, I feel like at home, showing off what he's got. And it's really impressive to see that all come down to the final dive.
And 100% there. And James is leading into the 4th round, which is in a great position to be in. It's a big pressure position, but nevertheless, it's a nice position because you can see all the other divers and their scores. Like Rhiannon Ifland talked about, she heard the crowd cheer for Molly and then made some adjustments and put the pressure on herself. But there is the start list. Keep an eye on Gary Hunt, diving number 6, trying to earn his 11th King Kahkili trophy. But Konstantin Popovic, he'll have something to say about it. The 2023 trophy winner, he dives number 9. So it's reverse order, all right? So the top seed into this 4th and final round goes to James Lichtenstein of the United States. No American male has ever won on U.S. soil on the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. And a good perspective there with the buildings in the background, because the men's platform 8 stories high, so 27 meters, 90 feet off the Boston Harbour in front of 30,000 fans. It is a big day here in Boston for the 4th and final stop, and a fun day. We're going to see how it all unfolds with the men, starting with Braden Rumpet.
Absolutely. It's fun to watch that people organize watching parties from their balcony.
Totally. So Rumpet kicks things off, kind of pulls things in at the end there. So the 24-year-old in his 5th World Series start, trying to gain some valuable experience here in Boston.
Well, that was inward quad half in the tuck position. And everything here on the takeoff's quite good. What I like to see him is just those finest aesthetic details. You see the legs coming apart, the knees bending a little bit at the end. I feel like he anticipated the landing a little bit too much by bending the knees. You have to go in. Everything's super tight.
And why feet first? That's what the viewers always want to know.
So important, because that high at 27 meters from the ground, it's too dangerous. The human body's not made to have an impact on the head, the wrist, the neck from that high in the water. So there's regular diving, the maximum is 10 meters, but when you're at 20 or 27, it's feet first for safety reasons.
Judging is the same for the men and the women. 5 judges score between 1 and 10, the high and the lower toss. The remaining 3 multiplied by the degree of difficulty. All 4 rounds count and are added together. So Rumpet kicking things off, the first of 12 to go on the men's side. Jonathan Paredes on the rooftop of the ICA building, the Institute of Contemporary Art. That is where the platform is mounted against. As we look at Miguel Garcia,
look at
great view of the harbor.
People watching, amazing.
Miguel Garcia, the 34-year-old Colombian, coming off his personal best, a 4th place finish at the last stop in Bosnia and Herzegovina in the beautiful town of Mostar off the old bridge. Maria Paula Quintero, that's his stepdaughter, who dove earlier on the women's side. A little FaceTime, maybe with their mother. Miguel's wife, Silvana, just speculating there. He's on the phone. Johnny doing his routine. He'll dive number 5.
It's the hardest dives of the competition. You need to have the best preparation, to be in the right mindset, right zone.
Take off.
That reaction is so fun. And listen, he's injured. His feet, ankles are hurting really bad. So he really pushed through for one final dive. And you see him just letting go in the water.
A disappearing act by Miguel Garcia, but it is backed up with a lot of action and flips and twists, Rosie. This was awesome.
Yeah, a runner-up dive right here for 3 somersaults, 3.5 twists. Take off, a little bit back from the edge, but that's not bad at all. Right here on the takeoff, goes right away in the twist. Barely touches his leg in the pike position, but that entry, oh my God, so good. You can't hold back when you're doing a runner-up like this. This approach was really well done. Keeping the legs together, 1 foot on top of the other, working those thighs.
And that running takeoff, it's so cool to watch. That's what Molly Carlson just jumped a little too far and lost her footing on the end. So people are wondering if that happens. The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Grip tape doesn't save you if your foot doesn't hit it. All right, come on, judges.
Yes.
All right, Ginger Huber, former World Series diver, in the middle with the radio. She gives an 8.5. So does Antonio Martinez. Those are the 2 high scorers. She'll toss out one of the 8.5s, and Miguel Garcia, he'll keep 2 8s and an 8.5. Wow, look at that score, 120.05. Giant.
And you see him limping. That's how much it hurts. Look at that.
So relieved. Mikhail Garcia, second to go on the men's side. He needed that for a big boost of confidence. As the reason why he's diving number 2 is because he didn't have great scores in the first 3 rounds.
He never gave up.
Nope.
Showed up with a great dive.
Here's Scott Lazaroff. Second time ever competing on the World Series. He made his debut at the last stop in Mostar, Bosnia and Herzegovina. Came off an impressive 11th play. There's Miguel. Just limping back over to the hot tub and get that thing warmed up. Right now it's about the American Scott Lazaroff in his second ever attempt on the World Series.
Look at that smile.
Oh, yeah.
You're off 27 meters and you're just like, hey, I'm so happy to be here.
When you talk to anybody, if you get the invite here as a wild card diver, you're pretty stoked.
Yeah, I had the chance to talk to him earlier this week, and I was like, hey, you're home soil. First year on the World Series. How's that? He's like, oh, my God. I'm living my dream right now. I just want to do well. And listen, with a really difficult dive, an arm stand back, 3.5 somersaults, 2 twists, a 5.2 degree of difficulty.
And let's not forget, 27 meters, 90 feet above the Boston Harbor. You can hear the crowd. You can't hear a word.
Good.
Lazaroff, you got to give it to him. Steve Lobu, he likes it. Steve's helping coach Scott down at the facility in Fort Lauderdale. And Scott Lazaroff, the 28-year-old American in his second World Series stop. Bit of a splash on that.
And I think at this point, it doesn't really matter. It's just about repetition and doing the dives under pressure, doing the dives in front of a huge crowd, doing a dive at home. It's getting that experience. So when he moves forward, he gets an invitation again. A permanent diver, maybe eventually, he'll know what to do in every condition.
Exactly.
Just here, he moved his upper body a bit too fast. Great control in the handstand, coordination within the legs and the push of the arms. Legs together in a twist. Wobbly a little bit here, but doesn't really matter. It's just at the end, he hesitated a little bit too much, thinking he was going in short.
All good. Hey!
Wild card divers get invites. Scott Lazaroff got the invite. It's a 78. It's kind of like a call-up from the minor leagues in baseball to the big leagues, Rosie. You know, you get your shot, maybe you hit a home run, maybe you get on base 3-4 times and earn some points and a start to the next game. Third place right now for Lazaroff. He's third to go. 12 total men, fourth and final round. And here is Andrea Barnaba, who we love to watch. Rosie, you and I talk about his technique all the time.
Yes.
How precise he is, how flexible he is.
Flexible. Yeah. You can tell. Look at that pike position. The legs are straight, forehead on the shin. And even if he's grabbing his leg for the first flip here, second flip as well, look at the head is still touching the legs without having his arm keeping the pike position. It's just so impressive and unique. He's one of the only ones who can do it like that.
And that was a beautiful performance in Pognano Amare, Italy. 21 years old from Trieste, Italy, and today only marks his 9th ever start on the World Series. The youngest male permanent diver on the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. Just to see, just to show you how things can change over 4 rounds, Rosie. And Mostar, he was first after the first round, first after the second round. Going into the third, he was sitting second. Going into the fourth round, he was sitting second. And then he ended up in 9th. So things change quickly as the competition progresses. If you aren't consistent, all 4 rounds count, are added together.
Absolutely. And you might see him with a lower degree of difficulty here of 4.7, which is a back 3 somersaults, 3 twists. But he's quite young. He wants to learn the dives progressively, not just throwing some hard dives to have DDs. He got lost in a twist in a dive a couple of years ago, and he wants to build it back stronger so it doesn't happen again when he learns bigger dives. There you go.
Nice job by Barnaba. Just arms like arrows.
He's so precise in every part of the dive, which is very impressive, and the judges love that. So they can really look at the dive step by step.
3-second free fall for those wondering. 85 kilometers per hour, 53 miles per hour, 10 G's of physical force when hitting the water, 3 times the height of a traditional 10-meter platform. So it is big for these men divers right now.
Look at the squat on the takeoff, super deep and strong enough to get that jump. Legs are really coming apart a little bit in the twist. That's the only because we can see it in slow motion. The judges didn't notice, I'm sure.
And the judges are sitting like right where we are, like this is their view.
Yeah.
Is like right now.
Exactly.
That's where the judges are sitting, right here. That's what they see.
And they're not like at the level of the platform. They're really down on deck. So they're watching from really low.
Girlfriend, Elisa Cassetti, who we saw on the women's side. So Barnaba on that in yellow with a 117. When you add the other 3 rounds, 370.25 for Andrea Barnaba. The best he can do in the 4th round. Many big names coming up as he is 4 to go of 12. And the fight for the King Kakili Trophy is on. Paredes still in the mix as Aiden Heslop looking on. He is last year's King Kakili Trophy winner. When he joined us in the booth, he wasn't too happy about handing that thing over this year. But he's back in training after back surgery, and he seems healthy, he seems strong, he seems confident. He's really hungry to get that trophy back next season.
Absolutely. And he doesn't know if he really likes watching and being a spectator, but really, with the 4-month surgery, he needs to build back everything from scratch, the little dives, different rotation to see how the body reacts. And so far, it's been great. It's just a matter of patience. I think it's the hardest thing for him, but he's following protocol and he's happy that he'll be in shape for next season.
So Aiden Heslop, one of 6 men to win the King Kakili Trophy. This is another guy who's won it before in 2017, Jonathan Paredes, and still has a shot today if it goes his direction to win the King Kakili Trophy. He's gonna need some 8.5s to pull into the top spot. Over Barnaba, 36-year-old Mexican Gary Hunt. Now we'll pay attention to Johnny's dive because this is a big deal for him to see where he needs to be in order to win his 11th King Kakili Trophy. But Jonathan Paredes dropping into his 80th start on the World Series, 2nd most starts to Gary Hunt, who we just saw. So the 2 most experienced dudes right here going back to back.
And Paredes has been battling injuries for quite some time. He's limiting his training just to make sure he has enough energy and can resist the impact of that 27-meter. He's being smart here with listening to his body before competition.
Oh, Johnny with an uncharacteristic heavy landing.
That was a forward 4 somersaults, 1.5 twist in the pike position.
So that won't help his cause and campaign to win another King Kakili Trophy, and probably help Gary Hunt out depending on what happens in the next few divers. So
doors open.
Lower scores across the board for Paredes. What happened here, Rosie?
It's really on the takeoff, I think. It's a matter of momentum. It doesn't matter if he's not completely on the edge of the platform, but it's the rhythm, the punch, and the throw of the arms. Right here, you see him already landing forward. So he's going downwards really fast. The pike position can be a bit more squeezed in, but at the end, even though if it's 27 meters, it's really high, with so much flips and twists, you have to have the highest jump at the start to be able to complete everything comfortably. And
Jonathan Paredes, who is known for the cleanest entries into the water in the business. Grabbed the judge's attention in a way that he didn't want to, and he's definitely feeling that one.
Yeah. You can tell it hurts a little.
His very good friend, Rhiannon Ifland. She's concerned, kind of telling Johnny what she saw in that dive, 3:35.05. So Barnaba still leads. He's just talking about his under rotation.
And the way he managed his entry at the end, not giving his upper body the strength to get to a straighter position.
So Paredes, there's 3 still to come. So yeah, if everything ended right now, Paredes would win the win the King Kong Kitty Trophy. But yeah, these next competitors coming up, including Gary Hunt, and then several later, we'll see Konstantin Popovich. 10 King Kakili Trophy wins. This guy, it's just, he's not human. These are highlights just from over the years of his
perfect scores,
trophy wins. Look at that. Where does he keep all of them?
In a storage unit, maybe? He has too many.
He's got an apartment in France. I don't know if they're fitting there. His wife is like, move these things over. Maybe she'll, I don't know. Maybe she likes the most unassuming character, unassuming diver that you will meet. Gary Hunt, 41 years old, in his 104th start in the World Series. 10-time King Kakili Trophy winner. Current World Series points leader. Competed in the Olympics last year. It was in 10-meter synchro, right?
Exactly.
In Paris.
That was a dream of his to make it to the Olympic Games. I know he battled in 2008 to make that team, and it didn't work out, but then an opportunity presented himself. He's like, I'm going to step away from high diving for a while and focus on this dream of mine, his old dream.
Yeah.
Achieved it, and now back as if nothing happened. And leading again. He's really made for the sport. It's incredible to see some people who's just so talented. It's part of who he is. And now I feel like the frustration of not diving as well as he hoped for is guiding him through his last dive of the season to make it a really good one.
A record 47 wins throughout his career. 80 podiums. Big pressure dive here for Hunt. So Gary leaving the door open just a smidgen for Konstantin Popovich.
Everybody's making it interesting.
Wow. Great in the air.
Oh, and he knows a little bit.
Great form, but just didn't enter the water the way he was hoping. Konstantin Popovich, he didn't hear a loud cheer by the nearly 30,000 fans, Rosie. So
I feel like Jonathan is sad for Gary. Like, oh. Let's take a closer look. That was a beautiful takeoff right in the twist. And what I love about him, I feel like he gets taller at the end of all of his twists. But then here at the end, you saw landing over, and it's probably because he gave his dive a leaning backwards with the shoulder, and when you do that right here at the end, you have that momentum going backwards, and it's so difficult to stop. It's not too bad.
Man, so much appreciation. Hayden Heslop, last year's champion, says Gary's inspired him over the years. 101.40, okay, on that. So you add all 4 rounds together. So Hunt's in second with 3:58.55. He stays in second. He'll have 65 points. The current World Series standings live. So just giving you an idea that everything ended right now. Barnaba, excuse me, these are the standings right now in this round. Barnaba in the lead with that 3:72.5. Hunt in second with 3:58. Then Paredes is in third. So here are the standings if everything stopped right now. Hunt would win his 11th King Kakili Trophy. Paredes in second. Popovich still yet to drop into the Boston Harbour. So huge pressure on Konstantin Popovich.
What a difficult position to be in, even for Popovich, knowing that he can't do any mistakes, and for Gary Hunt sitting in the tub and being like, I have to sit here and watch and hope I'm still ahead.
And you don't hope everyone makes mistakes, because you don't want to win off other people's.
Exactly. You want to put on a show and being like, by little fine details and high quality diving.
So Gary Hunt is 6 to go of the 12. So we're midway through the men's fourth and final round. We still have Konstantin Popovich coming up. He's the one to keep an eye on to put pressure. That's him to take over the top spot that Gary Hunt owns on the World Series points list. Catalin Peretta is next, and he's had a rough go since this stop last season, Rosie. We talked about it a little bit earlier in the third round, how he came in short and just really got that uppercut.
Absolutely, and it's hard images to watch. Having an accident like that on such a difficult dive. He was pushing the limits of the sport and really didn't work out his way. But then he's able to move past that and show up to the platform and be that confident guy.
It's again, it's like that professional football, baseball player, soccer player that you see, Rosie, that you're like, how did that guy come back, right? Or how did that woman come back so quickly? And this is a guy who put in a ton of work, ton of hard work, ton of discipline to get back on the scene.
Listen, I've been passionate about my sport. I had some little accidents here and there, but I always said to myself, if I'm majorly injured, if I pass out or somewhere, I would quit. And imagine at that level, he's like, nope, I'm not done. I love this too much, and I know I could do better. A 6.0 degree of difficulty in arm stand back 4.5 somersault pike. That dive.
The highest DD, right?
The highest
this
DD.
round.
Yeah. Oh, amazing!
Yes. Discipline. Paying off. That.
Listen.
A huge relief for the Romanian.
It must feel so special. Remember those images that we've just seen? He's decided to do the exact same dive.
That's the crew that got him out of the water last year, the safety divers. Look at this.
Oh, what a comeback story. And you want to prove it to yourself as well, that you're more than just a little mishap on a competition. Now he's like, I'm going to do it again. The amount of courage it takes to do that dive again in a competition, in a pressure position, and look at that beautiful toe point legs, trusting the process and what he sees in the water. I mean,
man, it's like an auto racer in F1 just crashing into the wall, burning and getting injured, and then coming back a year later and winning the race. That's the feeling for Catalin Peretta right now, regardless of the score. However, why not bring in the score? 153, 418, 35. Peretta is back.
That's what I love about sports. Those little comeback stories. It's not just a little comeback story, but it's like this guy just proved something to himself as well.
Live World Series standings in terms of points in the race for the King Kakili Trophy. Gary Hunt still holds it down. The interesting part is going to be when this man dives. Konstantin Popovich, also from Romania. So Peretta, whoa, massive lead. Nearly 50 points over Barnaba. 5 to drop, including 2 Americans here in Boston, where the fans will be going nuts. It'll be David Colturi next, then Popovich. That'll be fun to watch, to see what he pulls off. James Lichtenstein from the United States will try to pull off a win, the first American ever to win on U.S. soil on the World Series. So a lot's going to happen in these next 5 dives. But how about U.S. high diving? Many Americans competing here, and Team USA has been on a roll making some noise on the World Series. Steve LeBeau, former World Series diver, talks about that progression, and what's happening in the States.
Yeah, so I feel genuinely grateful that I get to coach these athletes and share some of my experience with them and watch them grow and continue to grow the sport. I actually find it slightly more rewarding to be on the coaching side than the diving side. Watching divers be successful and again, being able to share some of my knowledge and watch them kill it out here is just super amazing. Team USA is growing. We have quite a few females and obviously some really top male athletes as well. Been really proud of everybody, honestly. I think, you know, helping James get to that world champion spot and bring the world champion back to the US is obviously incredible. And then watching girls come in and thrive, like Lisa Faulkner coming into her first few stops and doing really well is super rewarding. And then on top of that, just continuing to help the veterans, Maylee and Kaylee, come in and do their thing and be successful. I would say all around it, it's just been a really amazing feeling.
Steve LeBeau, 40 years old, 66 career starts on the World Series, 18 podiums, 5 of them wins, retired in 2021. And look at the appreciation between Steve LeBeau and Kathleen Peretta. And this, one of his best friends, David Coulthuri, coming up next, who got his World Series start and debut here in Boston in 2011. I mean, this is one of the highest starts I've seen with Dave in the 4th round in quite some time. I have to look at the stats, but usually not right there in the top 5, and he hasn't been on the podium in quite some time. Let's see if he can pull it off today. Konstantin Popovich will go next.
David will be doing a reverse 2 somersaults, 4 twists in the free position. A very pretty dive to watch.
Drop it in. David Coulthuri, 36 years old. In his 71st career start on the World Series, 4th round. It's a bit heavy on the landing, Rosie.
A little bit, but it's so difficult to adjust. I don't know if you noticed, but it's very sunny up on the platform, and then halfway through the dive, it gets really dark because the shadow is coming in.
Keep an eye on his left arm. That is the arm. That's the rotator cuff he got surgery on that he's got to get another surgery on after this event.
It's crazy. Injuries with him as well has been an issue and a struggle, but he's always doing what he needs to do to make his body feel good. You can tell that his arms are well placed in the air. And the good thing is that you don't feel like he's limiting himself of movement in the air as well because of the injury.
Kathleen Peretta, one of his best friends, by the way. Look at this. He just is so psyched for Kathleen. And Coulthuri moving into second. Got a 110 on that last final dive, 33.77. Another one of his best friends, Steve LeBeau. Sure, his other buddies, Kyle Mitrione and Andy Jones, the Americans who have been so prominent in the past World Series events, and Hunt still will lead in the overall World Series points and win a King Ka Keeley trophy. But this next diver will have something to say about it. Konstantin Popovich, the door is open for Popovich. Gary Hunt in 4th. So right now, Gary Hunt stays in 4th with 59 points. Popovich wins, he'll have 62 points. Just to kind of do some quick math here. So Popovich needs a win, or could use a win. But there's more people. Carlos Jimeno, Prigorov, Liechtenstein coming up, as you see there. And Liechtenstein is on fire right now.
Popovich will be doing a 5.7 degree of difficulty, which is higher than what Gary Hunt did.
Mostar and his style.
Oh, I just love it. And it's very unique. If you notice, when he opens from a position, his arms and his elbows are bending. You see like tight arms on the side from everyone, but him is just like almost like a walk in the park. I'm like, hey, I finished a dive, smooth here, bending my arms. He's not losing point from the judges because of that. It's just his style, his way of diving, and it's quite pretty, actually.
Yeah, I love how you pointed out the different styles of diving, and I love how the judges, you know, give him that, right? Like, you know, so I want to be like here's the robot, here's the fixed AI diver, and everybody has to be like this diver. They do look at different styles. Body types can make a difference as well. But I like your analysis on that, Rosie, and letting these guys have a little freestyle in their life, right?
Absolutely. They have to show off their personality. They're putting on a show, so why not just be themselves all the way through?
Gary currently first in terms of points. If the competition ended now, he would earn the 2025 King Kahekili Trophy. Carlos Jimeno, he can shake things up. Man, all right, this is a big dive, folks. So important for the Romanian shark.
Always doing a little simulation before he goes, remembering the cues here. Tight jump, tight landing. He'll be doing a back quad, 3 twists, pike. Important dive here for Popovich.
27 meters, 90 feet off the water. Not the entry that Konstantin Popovich wanted. Gary Hunt can appreciate it. He had a similar landing, Rosie. Has just maybe given Gary Hunt his 11th King Kahekili Trophy, and I think Gary knows something. Bittersweet.
Of course.
You know, you see your friend, fellow diver, come in a little hot, uncharacteristic of Costa, especially when you saw that last dive in Mostar.
Yeah, and I thought the takeoff was pretty good. Maybe a little bit on the slow side, getting in that pike position, but not too bad. Right here at the, it's the way he placed his arms at the end. Didn't give him the opportunity to control everything. If you bring back, we'll enjoy the twist in the pike here. Look at how squeezed in it is. Beautiful, but right here he opens, arms on the back. Here you see the right arm going inside his body, not giving the opportunity for him to adjust and get that vertical position.
All right, so 91.20 on that. So Konstantin Popovich, his last round, 4th place, 363.80. So Popovich in 4th right now. Gary Hunt in 5th. And that means Gary Hunt, when you look at Jimeno, Prigorov, and Liechtenstein yet to drop, will win his 11th King Kahekili Trophy. So there you have it. Gary Hunt, 57 points. Popovich with 52. Redes already dove. Jimeno's 38 points at the moment, even though he's still yet to dive. Even if he won, he'd have 56 points. Gary Hunt right now in 4th with 59. Even if he dropped to 5th, he'd have 57 points. So maybe it isn't over until we see Jimeno, Prigorov, and Liechtenstein.
2.
I think
If they
even
can
Hunt
push
is
Hunt
calculating.
down a little further.
I don't know.
If Jimeno wins, he'll have 56 points. So Carlos Jimeno would be in a tie with Gary. Gary would have to be 6th. It might come down to the best dive, so we're going to wait till the end. But Gary Hunt in great position to win his 11th King Ka'Ke'li Trophy. Orlando Duque, our World Series sport director, I'm sure he knows what it's like to win the King Ka'Ke'li Trophy. All right, if Meno could pull off a win, then we're gonna reboot the numbers, Rosie.
Absolutely, but let's focus on the dive that he's going to be doing. Carlos Jimeno, a 5.4 degree of difficulty in arm stand back, 4.5 somersaults tuck.
Thomas is 23.5.
Everybody's watching on, trying to do the quick math.
What's happening?
Oh, there
What's
it is.
happening?
It's pressure.
It is.
So Jimeno coming in heavy and high. And I think there's a lot of people doing some math here,
Yeah.
Rosie.
Oh, God. What a competition.
So that should keep Gary potential. Well, I don't know. I'm just going to wait. Watch the points. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to lay out.
Good. Yeah, it was way too over at the end for him to have any chance. Even though it was a higher degree of difficulty, he won't get above like 6 in points. Beautiful handstand.
What happened? Did he
Great
rotate here?
take-
Rose?
Yes. The tuck position, I would love to see him grab his ankles. That would be closer. But right here, when he looked back at that water, he stayed rounded but was going fast. So he didn't have the opportunity to stop his rotation. Right here, still looking at the water spots, knowing where he is. And it's also maybe the way that it gets so dark at the end that for the entry is hard to manage where the water is when it gets dark. It wasn't like that throughout the competition just because at this time of day. None of the athletes train at this time of day earlier this week, so might be something there.
Carlos Jimeno, 35-year-old Spain, one of 3 men who have won a 2025 World Series stop. That being in Pogliano al Mare, Italy. Gary Hunt, I think he's done some quick math. So Jimeno, 94.50 on that 4th round. So it puts him into 3rd with 374.70. So still ahead of Hunt. So Jimeno in 3rd. And Hunt now bumps to 6th.
Already celebrating with 2 divers to go.
So Gary Hunt with enough points on this when you do the math, even though he's in 6th and we still have 2 to go. And even if Hunt pushes down to 8th place, he'll still have enough points, 54, to win his 11th King Kahekili Trophy. So, unofficially, Gary Hunt has done it. 2 more divers to go before we lock in the final result. And Carlos Semeno, disappointed. He knows it, Rosie.
Yeah.
You've been in this position before, I'm guessing, throughout your career as a diver.
Absolutely. When you know you have pressure on your shoulders and you do not deliver, it's so frustrating because you see the doors were wide open round after round as if no one wanted it that bad. And you didn't seize that opportunity. It's really frustrating.
56 points for Hunt. Yet to drop Alexei Prigorov and James Lichtenstein. So the story is this. It looks as though Gary Hunt will be the 2025 King Kahekili Trophy winner. The 11th of his amazing, incredible, and just, I don't even know how to describe it.
He's a phenomenon.
His career, like I said, he's not even human sometimes. And Prigorov, he just wants to end the season on a high note and a podium finish. And then the other story yet to come, Rosie, is James Lichtenstein, the American. No American has ever landed in first in a World Series event on U.S. soil. Still a lot of drama unfolding here in Boston, the Seaport District, and the 4th and final stop of the 2025 World Series.
With a difficult dive for Prigorov, a 5.3 degree of difficulty, a forward 4 somersaults, 2.5 twist pike. He's going to be doing a runner-up, a dive that he struggled with in the past, but did it in practice today. It was pretty good. So the question is, will he perform it well enough to get on the podium for the last one of the season?
The celebration's already beginning for Gary Hunt. What a day for him. And I'm not going to say because he's done his best dives. He's had a little luck today. Alexei Prigorov. 2 men to go here in the 4th and final round. Kaboom!
Yeah.
So Alexei Prigorov kind of joining the big splash club here in the final round of diving.
And I really think it's because of the light.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because you don't see those entries usually for every diver. It's really rare. So there's something to it, but everybody's in the same boat. They have to adjust. He's so fun. He's grateful to be around. He has a back muscle problem earlier. Didn't train much this week. Wanted to save up his energy and his body for the competition. When you look at his dive, his twisting position needs a little bit more quality in a sense of his leg position. You'll be able to see it. He's leaning forward a lot. Pike position's okay. Right here, you see the legs want to come out, the knees are bending, the toes are pointed, but not the feet. And right here, the entry, that's where it's really confusing. And then you hesitate because you're not sure you've seen anything. That's why it's hard to resist to the impact.
So we'll see what the judges say about Prigorov. We're getting closer to awarding the King Kahekili Trophy as Prigorov drops into 4th after that. So no podium finish for Prigorov today. I mean, you have Rhiannon Iflin winning her 9th career King Kahekili Trophy. You now have Gary Hunt winning his 11th. The other stories not to forget about, the permanent diver spots that we'll find out who gets awarded for the 2026 season. But Catlin Peretta, that is huge. He is on top of the leaderboard right now with 1 diver remaining. So if Peretta wins, that is going to be amazing. If James Lichtenstein wins right now with this dive, he'll be the first American ever to win on U.S. soil. And
probably 2 Americans on the podium. David Coulter is standing in 2nd right now with 1 diver to go.
Dave Coulter saying this is amazing.
Yeah.
Coulteri's had 14 podiums in the 13 years of competition.
But not one in a while.
His last World Series top 3 was in Dublin, Ireland, Rosie, in 2019. So Coulteri, all of a sudden, finds himself on the podium on U.S. soil for the first time since 2019. And will fellow American James Lichtenstein join David Coulteri on the podium? What a day for the Americans if they can pull this off in Boston.
And listen, he's finishing with a crazy dive, a back quint. This is 5 somersaults in the air. You starting seeing stars after 3.5, 4 flips. Imagine at 5. And he's been doing it so consistently this season.
Peretta hoping for a win. James Lichtenstein hoping for his first win of this season. First American male ever to do on U.S. soil if he can pull it off. It will be determined with 5 back somersaults into the Boston Harbor. Lichtenstein, similar to the other divers, great execution in the air, but a little over rotation. Could this be a big day for Peretta?
Oh, now I don't know what the judges will think of that. He was over the vertical.
He needs 7 seconds. Lord, this is going to be tight.
Enough?
I think he needs 7.5.
I wish I could have seen it. I was in the back of the platform.
We await the judges' score and the final tally to make it official of who wins the final stop of the 2025 season. Will it be James Lichtenstein?
Suspense here.
Or Catlin Peretta?
Let's take a closer look at the dive. Beautiful takeoff as usual. Tuck position, very squeezed in. Right here, he just put his shoulder back too much at the end, giving an extra rotation it didn't need. Everything on top, beautiful squat, great power. Flip over the 27-meter platform, which is great to control at the end. Kick out looking at that water, and then it gets a bit dark, so you're just going in for the end.
He needed those 7s, though. So those 7s and a 7.5, Rosie, should give him the win.
It's going to be so close.
By less than a point.
Less than a point.
Everyone knows it's a me.
Gotta wait till it all officially comes in. There's the 3 7s. That'll keep. He does it. Multiplied by 5.2 degree of difficulty with a 109.20. James Lichtenstein has done it. The first American ever on a Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series to win on U.S. soil.
God.
By 0.75 over Catlin Peretta. What an incredible 4th round for the men.
It's a matter of who did less errors in the competition. And the talent in there. The field is so strong. Impressive diving.
I mean, Rosie, so many amazing stories packed in today.
Yeah.
All around for the women and the men, but to have James be the first to win on U.S. soil ever since the World Series started in 2009. That's incredible. But Catlin Preda getting back on the podium. Second, David Coulturi since 2019, 6 years later, in the place that it all began for him. Third place, bronze for Coulturi. Wow.
I don't know. I hope you feel inspired, because if not, I don't know who will help you get inspired by those athletes and those stories and that competition today.
Popovich almost had it. Gary Hunt, I mean, he was pushing it with a little luck and some landings, some unfavorable landings by other divers. Just handed over Gary Hunt's 11th King Kahekili Trophy. Unbelievable with 54 points. So Popovich in second for this 2025 season. Impressive year for Carlos Gimeno. You have to hand it to him. And James Lichtenstein with a really slow start to the season on the World Series. With this win, pulls him into fourth. All will be invited back next year as permanent divers as we look on all the way down to our final divers in this men's competition. What do you think, Rosie? Did you have fun commentating that one?
I love that competition. You know, these athletes are so well renowned around the world. We've known them inside and out. And then you still don't know who's going to win. And they're bringing back dives, trying new things, pushing the limit, the boundaries of the sports all the time, even if they've been around forever. That's what's so fun about the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series, is that you never know who's going to come on top.
So big appreciation to Boston and the fans to come out here to the Seaport District located in South Boston, the ICA Institute of Contemporary Art building. Fantastic fourth round and incredible competition and finals here in Boston. Let's go down to the water with Max, who's with our new crown champion.
Gary, you did it. World Series champion. Can you still believe it?
No, I really thought it was going to be my last time when I did this in Sydney. But to come here to finish, it's yeah, what a season. It's been a struggle towards the end, and yeah, it was a shame to finish with not such great dives, but I'd done enough, and yeah, can't believe it.
You run away in the moment you have won the title. Here from the hotspot to who?
My good friends Brandon Burchek and Mike Fries. They've been with me well, from the time that I met my wife Sabine. They taught me how to juggle, and they're just people I love, and they came to watch, so I wanted to share that moment with them.
Maybe please describe the emotions during the last round.
I was trying to keep my emotions under check. Maybe I should have tried to be a bit more fired up, I don't know. But yeah, I was just trying to stay focused. This competition, I've been up and down, making small mistakes, so I was trying to just get in the zone. And yeah, it wasn't enough to finish strong and get on the podium here, but things worked out.
But who was the person you run after the confirmation as you won?
Over there. I just told you.
Sorry, yeah, I didn't understand. Tell me again, what does this title mean to you, this King Kahekili Trophy?
This one for sure means a lot, and it's a lesson to everyone that sometimes you need to take a step back before going forwards, and that's exactly what I did. I took a break, and it was the best thing I could have ever done. For sure, I don't feel in the best shape of my life because I did take that break, and I can't do that forever. Next year I'm going to have to work a lot harder to get even stronger, but this year that's what I needed. I needed some fresh air. I needed to step back, watch a couple of these events online, and remember how much I love doing it. And I think that passion, I think you saw that this year.
Congratulations again. Thank you, Gary.
Gary Hunt, the sport's greatest, now one louder at 11. And that is a familiar sight, Rosie. celebrating with Rhiannon Iflin.
Both champion this season.
And they've been there before many times. Rhee, number 9, and Gary Hunt, number 11. Gary Hunt, 11 World Series titles.
They've won together many times. That's why they're celebrating again and again and again.
Just doesn't win. He rewrites
Famous
history.
duo.
I'll tell you what, you have to hand it to James Lichtenstein, winning the final stop of the season. 4 different male winners in 2025 in round 1. Here is the competition recap. Remember, got to check all the boxes A to Z, all 4 rounds, Rosie, and doing a nice job with his consistency and pace throughout yesterday in the first 2 rounds, and of course today to lock in the victory here in Boston.
Everything counts, every little detail. If you want to set yourself up for first round, then you have to think, okay, I'm gonna need this when it counts. In the 4th round, when you're standing on the platform, you're happy your first, second round was a great dive, so you have a bit of a margin of error in there. What a beautiful arm stand dive here while Gary Hunt was watching, putting pressure on the other athletes. Look at that jump, beautiful direction. Squeezed in tuck position. Everything's so perfect. Look at that position as well. Going into the water. And then the round we just witnessed. 5 somersaults, 5 flips in the air. You have to really know where you are in the air to make sure you land safely in the water.
So James Lichtenstein, the first U.S. male ever to win a World Series event on U.S. soil. And he does it in front of 30,000 people in Boston. He's with Max.
James, what a drama at the end.
Yeah, I mean, it was a super interesting round. I mean, I don't like to pay too much attention, but I could hear some of the scores, and I know I didn't need anything big, but I just wanted to dive like I knew how to dive, and I screwed it up a little bit, but I pulled it out by less than a point, I guess, so I'm super happy.
You're the only person I can ask, how is it to win an American home event?
Incredible. I mean, the crowd is amazing. My friends and family are here, and I got to show off in front of them, and I did 3 out of my 4 dives about as good as I can do them, so I'm super happy.
Perfect end of a roller coaster season for you?
Yeah, I should have started off like this, but yeah, great finish, got my confidence back, and hopefully I can continue into next season.
Thanks, James. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
There you go, James. And you also got the best dive. Earned an extra point there with this round 3 dive, Rosie. So tight, so beautiful.
Oh, yeah. The jump just shows how powerful he is, how strong he is, and has so much confidence. And as he said, my first 3 dives were as perfect as I could have done them. Just the last one here a little bit at the end. And with that pressure on. And it's so interesting because he had a slow start of the season and finished off so strong. That world title really helped with confidence, and it showed here in Boston.
So the celebration begins for the divers here in this 4th stop of the season. Looking forward to 2026. A lot of drama unfolding today here in the Boston Harbor in the Seaport District. And look at that. Dave Kulturi finds himself back on the podium. Rotator cuff surgery in December. Re-injured the same shoulder, left shoulder. Now he has to go back in, but not before he stands on a Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series podium. Great for him.
I'm sure the feeling on the podium right now will just motivate him more for the upcoming season.
I mean, and the biggest goosebump moment goes to this guy right here. Catlin Preda, from being scooped up by our wonderful safety diver crew who do such a great job out of the water last season. Put in an ambulance, went to the hospital, comes back this season. And look at that.
What amazing courage, determination. A great lesson we've learned from him today. Never give up, and to trust yourself that you could do it again no matter what happens.
Like I said, those two great friends, Dave, Catlin, did the Hidden Cliffs project together. You watch on Red Bull TV, but James Lichtenstein, what an outstanding day, putting all four together. James Lichtenstein, the first U.S. male ever to win a Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series on U.S. soil. Kaboom. Ran into his whole family last night at dinner, and Mom was wearing the King James t-shirt. Loved it. She just, Trace, check this out.
She was ready for the show.
We all had some fun t-shirts.
It's a great way to finish a beautiful 2025 season.
There you go. Finish it off, guys. The top three in Boston at the final stop. Kulturi with the bronze, Preda with the silver, and winning gold, James Lichtenstein.
Yeah. Thank you.
Two Americans on the podium, sandwiching in the Romanian Catlin Preda. Joined us a little later in the broadcast. The women's competition ended with Rhiannon Iflin winning here in Boston, and Molly Carlson and her good friend and teammate Simone Leadhead 2 and 3. Xanthe Panizzi just off the podium, so the Aussies and Canadians doing great. In this competition, Kaylee Arnett from the United States secured a permanent diver spot for next season. Didn't have the result here she wanted, but nevertheless, a great season for somebody who just started on this World Series last year.
Simone was so impressive throughout the competition because she had a rough start. She decided to try a new dive and handstand. Didn't work her way. But then she just came back stronger with a dive that she used to be doing, just to slide up on the podium. And Molly, a comeback story as well. She needed some time to refocus, put her mental health first, and then come back stronger. And that's so good for the off season to just finish off strong. And capping off her season
perfect
with a perfect season, perfect dive, perfect situation. Yet again, another King Kaigeli trophy.
The GOAT.
The GOAT, the best of the best. And not taking it for granted and still having that amazing reaction and pride to be there again and again. It's so hard to win, but it's harder to win again.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's well said, Rosie, and you know, 2 Olympic medals. in your time as a diver, and it's just been amazing to watch these guys throughout the entire season. Throwdown dives in different locations too, starting it off in El Nido. Where Molly didn't have a strong start, one of her worst starts to the season, actually. She got like 5th place there.
Yeah, she never gave up. She decided to learn a new dive, even though it was not going her way. And look at her, end of this season, back on the podium.
And Rhiannon Ifland, like, she had a shot. I kept talking over the past couple years with Gary, right? Like, well, I don't know if Gary's going to win another King Ka'Ke'li trophy. So now Rhi with 9 was sneaking up on his 10, right? She could take over the all-time record of King Ka'Ke'li trophies, male or female.
Yeah.
And now Gary has 11. So Gary steps in and says, nah, not so fast, Rhi.
I'm not done just yet.
Once again, a big appreciation to the Boston fans who came out, right? We had a great time. You went to the Red Sox game.
Yes.
I saw it as well, and just to see the fans come out there and the hype and the energy and to bring that vibrancy to here was wonderful to see.
True Sports City.
Battle of the bands and the horns out there.
Celebration time.
Rhiannon Ifland, 53rd podium of her career out of 55 starts, her 45th win. Check out a few highlights from our continued, consistent world champion, Rhiannon Ifland, and of course, Gary Hunt making a comeback a couple years off from winning that King Ka'Ke'li trophy, but now has it in his possession again.
That was crazy.
Starting it off in El Nido, Philippines, with a win, and then Rhi comes to pulling out Almare, Italy, right on the Achilles heel of the Italian boot, gets it done in the Adriatic Sea.
Managing the waves. I think that she was the more adaptable athlete there. With a solid 4th round and then finishing in Mostar, or giving herself an opportunity for a clean sweep this season once again. With those beautiful dives, great technique. Off an historical bridge, so pretty.
Undefeated, 4 wins this season. The most decorated female in the history of the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series, and continues to charge. From her debut win in 2016 to an unstoppable dynasty here in 2025. It's been so fun to watch her. The crown is hers once again, and Gary Hunt now getting that King Ka'Ke'li trophy back. We talked to Aiden Heslop, who won it last year. He's out this season with injury. And he's like, he was really hesitant. He didn't want to hand that thing over, but he goes, well, one guy I will hand it over to is my idol, Gary Hunt, who inspired him over the years.
Yeah.
And Gary, again, just continues to amaze us. Here's a guy winning number 11 cementing his dynasty in the world of cliff diving.
And he said it's best when it's difficult, when it's a challenging spot. Maybe those platform in Boston was smooth for him.
The King Kakili Trophy presentation for 2025 on a beautiful day in South Boston Seaport District, established in the year of 1936. That's the Institute of Contemporary Art, where the platform is mounted to.
With Aiden giving out the trophy. What a nice gesture.
Very nice gesture. Rhiannon Iflin locking in number 9. The 2025 Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series champ. "11 titles, 1 legend, Gary Hunt."
Do you think Aiden told him, I'm coming for you next year?
I think Gary knows.
Yeah.
Gary was like, this is my year.
Yeah. Amazing athletes, amazing people.
Gary Hunt, Rhiannon Iflin, still masters of the game. Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series champions 2025. Gary Hunt's going to have to get a bigger apartment in France.
We'll open a Gary Hunt museum. He should.
So we talk about how important it is, this final competition of the season, to get those valuable points to become a permanent diver for next season. So unofficially, here is the list for next season. You can guarantee that Ree and Arnett, Leathead, and Chukanovska are in with that top 4. And then unofficially, you have 5 through 8 right there who will earn a permanent spot. Faulkner, new permanent diver on the series. Wow, she came on strong quickly, took advantage of that wild card spot. And then Molly Carlson, Xanthia Panisi back in the mix as a full-time diver. So great list of women there. Gary Hunt will come back. Popovich, of course, and Paredes, we'll see him as a full-time diver along with Carlos. James will be back on. So Prigorov and Preda and Kolturi.
Kolturi is back.
Kolturi, wild card diver, now permanent diver. He was talking about taking a little break next year, Dave. I don't know about that.
Maybe you'll change your plans.
So they're the top 8 men in terms of earning a permanent diver spot.
It's crazy how it's just not about being on the podium. It's about setting yourself for greatness in the upcoming season as well.
Well, another successful World Series in the books, and a big congrats to all the talented and amazing divers on this remarkable season, during it, none of which could happen without our entire crew and team behind the scenes. So thank you all for your hard work and passion. That wraps it up from Boston and the 4th and final stop of the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. With that, on behalf of Rosaline Filion, Max Kell, and our entire team, I'm Trace Worthington. We'll see you next season and leave you with some memories and highlights of this past season. So long, everyone.
The feelings that I get when I cliff dive are so unmatched. The joy, the thrill, the adrenaline. Just the pure happiness that you get when you do a good dive.